How's it going, my evil residents? Today we'll be taking a look at all of the bosses in Resident Evil 5 and ranking them from worst to best. I'll mostly be ranking these off of personal enjoyment, fun factor, and some weight on story preference and memorability, though I'll get into game mechanics if I feel they're strongly relevant to the ranking. I'm not a game designer by any means, but if I feel something is well designed or poorly designed, I'll make sure to bring it up if it affects the ranking. That said, this is my subjective list and my personal opinion. I'd love to read yours down in the comments as well. I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into the video. Indesu lands in 13th place because, despite how much Capcom tries their hardest to give him a variety of moves to do, this fight is downright boring. Everything works as intended, so I can't dock it for being buggy, but this is just a slog of a boss fight that bookends a slog of a level. It sucks on a first playthrough, aside from the spectacle, it drags down the pacing on a repeat playthrough, and his health is way too high on professional, which just makes the fight drag even more. As much as I like the House of the Dead games, this just has none of the sauce those do to make this engaging, and it's a far cry from the Gigante battles Resident Evil 4 that this is clearly trying to build on. Not to mention, he just looks like the Zombie Stein from PvZ. I almost always skip this mission on a replay, and this boss being such a slog is a huge part of that.
I'm really excited for the new movie, I exclaimed with excitement. Little did I know.
This boss, straight up, just does not fucking work properly. On all modern versions of the game, it is bugged and a huge pain in the ass to defeat. How the boss is supposed to work is like a mix of the first Ouroboros and the Excella boss fight later. You weaken it with the flamethrower, which I'd recommend the AI partner to do if you're solo. Then when it shows you its balls, you shoot them, repeat a couple times, boss beaten. However, you play this game above 30 frames per second, which is how it was built to be played, all flame weapons do way less to zero damage depending on how high your frames are. The damage scales down the higher your frame rate is. It's the opposite bug that the knife has in Resident Evil 2 Remake, basically. So if you play this game with an uncapped frame rate and you have a godlike PC, you basically cannot defeat this boss. On modern consoles, you're going to be topping out at 60 frames for this game. It still takes 2, usually 3 times longer to kill this boss than intended. I have no idea why this boss wasn't fixed in the ports, but given the boss literally doesn't fucking work properly, I've decided to rank it at the bottom. Almost. It's not quite last because I could just skip this one with the rocket launcher, whereas in Desu, I just have to deal with it every time I replay this game.
She is such a bad bitch though!
While I love the spectacle and story significance of this boss, with Wesker doubling down on abandoning the last person who stood by his side, really showing the dynamic difference between Wesker and his quote-unquote partner, him using her as a tool, and Chris and Sheva working together as a proper team to take Wesker down, the boss itself is very bland as far as gameplay. The QTE section is neat, but still just a QTE section, and the actual boss with the chief token-worthy satellite laser is pretty boring. Cella's attacks are easy to dodge, and her little buddies she drops are basically no threat and just serve as free items. Most of your time in this boss is going to be spent running in circles and waiting for the laser to recharge. I think if Excella's attacks were a bit quicker and the laser took just a bit less time to lock on, it would improve quite a lot as far as pacing. As is, it does feel like a super easy time waster, which is a shame with how cool the boss design is and how cool this turn in the story is.
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We got some work.
This boss does mix up the Wesker boss fight formula in this game by preventing you from hiding and instead forcing you to find his openings to damage him. But since you fought this guy twice already in the exact same format, it just serves as a fun way to experience the cool flashback, which replays the story cutscene at the end of the boss anyway, so it feels a little bit redundant. While I acknowledge that it is a neat and really fun boss fight, there is nothing new here gameplay wise, and it feels a little bit forced in, especially since right beforehand you lose your guns and then magically there's just some agents in the hallway with 2 guns that are exactly from the cutscene. As I said, I like it, but I'd be putting more unique bosses in a disserviceable spot putting Lost in Nightmares Wesker any higher.
It would be a feature, a creature feature, featuring
Ouroboros loses all of its punch after your first playthrough. That's why it's down here and I just want to get that out of the way before people leave their comments about how cool this boss is. It's an awesome, very unique enemy for the series so far, as no other RE game before this had anything remotely similar, and it establishes how scary they really are by forcing you to use your environment to kill it, less so your weapons. You can use all the flame tanks or lure it into the massive furnace in the back. It's a great first boss for players to establish threat from this new virus and amps up the stakes, but on replays, this boss is is so goddamn easy to beat, but it just feels like a stopgap. On Pro, at least you have to bake him twice, but it still boils down to just some Dead by Daylight gameplay of looping him around till the furnace recharges. It cannot go lower, of course, because of that awesome first playthrough experience, and I could see someone saying it belongs higher. I totally respect that opinion, but I'm gonna leave it here at number 9 just because of how little presence this boss has on repeat playthrough.
They fly now!
They fly now? They fly now!
Purple Karamu, the first fight here, is tons of fun in co-op. It's a blast coordinating who distracts and who does damage, and then dumping all of your ammo into him when he crashes is very fun, and not as annoying as you'd expect. However, this boss can be pretty annoying with the AI partner. If you have your partner set to cover instead of attack, don't even try to use the trim mines that the boss arena gives you. Just give your AI partner a sniper and let their aimbot do the work of knocking it out of the air. Yeah, it's not as fun, but it'll save you from early life heart disease from the amount of boundless rage you will feel. You can just swap your partner into attack mode too, but I know players don't like doing that and would rather leave Sheva in cover than wonder why she wastes healing items and pick everything up and then go complain about it on game forum. That aside, this is a great boss held back by the solo partner AI, as it is somewhat normal for this game, unfortunately.
Okay, Spider-Man! Don't flip! Yeah!
I find myself forgetting this boss is in the game up until I get to the boss and go, oh, this boss. Because it's honestly a great time. Shooting the legs to knock him down as he shuffles around the platform is a fun challenge without being overly frustrating, and the little mosquitoes that spawn as the fight goes on apply a bit more pressure as you get used to the loop. I will admit though, on professional, the mosquitoes are a bit much. Nothing too unreasonable, but they can be a pain if you're not on top of them. Overall, a very fun boss with a cool design. There's many other great bosses in this game that knock this one down just a little bit. Purple Karamu 2 is one that I feel like most people forget about when they're doing a replay of this game, because this boss is very randomly added back in. It seems like Purple Karamu died the first time you fight it, but then it comes back for the second part and it's like, oh, you're back. Cool. But the boss fight's actually fun. I really like the condensed down arena. You can't rely as much on the trip mines, but also everything I said about Purple Karamu in the first one is still true here. The reason this one is better is because you can just skip it. You can just haul your pussy ass up the stairs and just avoid the boss fight. It's incredible. It's hilarious that you can just be like, no, I'm not fighting you. And it has a built-in cutscene for this and everything. Like, the developers expected some people to do this, to just skip the boss. You get a treasure for defeating it, which is awesome, but you can just run away. And I really like that. It has its own cutscene and everything. I just think that's cool. More games need bosses like that you just run away from, but if you do defeat it, you get an award. I love that concept. It's one of my favorite like boss concepts for a game, so I can't put it in top 5 because I'm literally ranking it higher because you don't have to do the boss. I don't think that warrants top 5 necessarily, but it for sure gets it a spot in number 6. Irving is another boss that I find myself forgetting about before I replay the game, but once I get to it while replaying the game, it's honestly really fun. I love the dodges on his munching attacks. Trying to hit him while he's far away, you can do it with the machine guns, but it's honestly easier with the sniper. So I usually just use the sniper. You can use the machine guns, and then you get the rocket turrets in the back, which are a pain to hit it with. You're better off firing at the tentacles with those. His boss design is also really cool. It's hard to tell because he's in the water most of the time, but he becomes this like giant like whale kraken. It looks awesome. It's so cool. It's disgusting. It's one of my favorite transformations in the game, if not like in the whole series. And then when you see like the weird Irving tonsil, the like Irving uvula, that was his original body. It's so disgusting and nasty. And he's like, I've become something epic. And it's like, dude, you're a tonsil. You turned yourself into a tonsil. Shut up. Anyways, with how smarmy and annoying this guy is, he sounds like the I'm the Joker baby guy. It's satisfying to kill him. It's satisfying to beat him because he's annoying. And his boss fight is really fun. And it's so unique because you don't fight any other bosses on a boat, except you do, but not like a small boat. You know what I mean? In 4th place, we have Wesker's Volcano Fight. This might get me cooked. This might land me in the volcano for saying this. But I think the Wesker fight in the volcano is not that engaging. I think it is one of the least engaging Wesker fights. If the Lost in Nightmares one wasn't just a rehash of a fight you already have twice, this one would be the least engaging. Most of this boss is spent just landing pot shots on him, running away from him, or doing an aggressive QTE to climb up a ledge or punch a boulder. And as iconic as those things are, none of them are that interesting. This boss fight is very much carried by its spectacle, its story significance, the cutscene directing, pacing of it. It's all excellent. This is a very well executed boss. I just don't think there's that much here. So I feel bad putting it above boss fights that have more going on because they're just built better. I'm not saying this boss is bad by any means. It's the least great boss in this game by like a mile, but it's still really good. Hopefully I worded that properly, and hopefully you guys get what I mean. If you want me to elaborate on this, feel free to ask in the comments. I will leave another comment responding to your comment. Probably not everyone's. If like 10 people ask me this, I'll just say I left a comment about this already. But yeah, as much as I love this fight, as cool as it is, it's got the least going on. It's got the least going on because Wesker loses all his mojo. He just walks at you with metal blades. That's it.
That was too close. You were almost a potato.
In third place, we have the Jill boss fight after you fight Wesker and Jill. I'm counting this as a separate boss fight because it has completely different mechanics, and it feels kind of like in Resident Evil 4 Remake when you fight you three in separate ways and then you separately fight the tail. Those feel like two different boss fights. Kind of a similar thing here. The main thing I like about this boss fight is how much teamwork it requires if you play it in co-op. Because you got to coordinate with someone pulling on the device, you got to coordinate with someone holding and restraining, you got to coordinate with someone restraining Jill, but depending on who Jill is attacking, you do need to change tactics and communicate, and it's really fun. And I just think it's really great and really helps you bond with who you're playing as a co-op partner and really helps establish the co-op relationship and partner relationship that Chris and Sheva have while Chris is trying to save his old partner. And I just think it's really cool. The story comes together a lot in this boss fight because this is why Chris is here. He wasn't here to stop Wesker first and foremost. He was here to save Jill, and then he needs to go stop Wesker. Yes, it was somewhat personal, but the main reason he was here was to save Jill. And this very much feels like the crescendo moment of the story, at least for me emotionally, because after this it's just Grr, Wesker, Grr, Chris, and then they fight. But you can really feel in this boss fight, especially with how good the music is, just how long it had been since Chris had seen Jill and how much he really missed her and how much he really wants her to get out of this. He feels horrible for her. You can really feel it, especially if you're playing as Chris, you can just tell Jill to snap out of it. There's just a talk to Jill button in this boss fight, and some of the lines he says, just the line delivery, Roger Craig Smith, you're a treasure, dude. Please come back to playing Chris. It breaks my heart, honestly, sometimes. It's a little cheesy, obviously. It's Resident Evil. When is it not cheesy? But it's so good. It's so good. I love cheese. I love cheese. I know I barely talked much about the gameplay of this boss fight, but its spot in the story is just so good that would land it at number 3 on its own. And then the gameplay with the partner AI, it's okay. It's really easy with the partner AI, but with an actual co-op partner, this is one of the best boss fights in the game just because of how quickly you have to work together and you really have to coordinate with them to save Jill. Otherwise, you could just kill her. You can easily kill Jill in this if your partner shoots on the wrong spot or you don't like restrain her properly. She can just die, and it's really sad. It's like, no. In second place, we have the Wesker Hanger boss fight. This boss fight does not get first place, as cool as it is, and it's because I know I said I love how cheesy Resident Evil is. I'm 100% aware of that. But the fact that Wesker only loses this boss fight because he doesn't take his sunglasses off is so goddamn funny. It's so funny. I love it. Like, it's stupid. It's one of the stupidest things in the whole game. Chris punches a boulder into a volcano in this game, and I think that's the stupidest thing in the whole game. It makes no sense because Wesker goes into like, okay, I'm actually gonna kill you now mode, and leaves his sunglasses on to fight them in the hangar where they're turning off the lights. And if you knock his sunglasses off in the boss fight, he takes another pair out of his jacket and he puts them on. And it's like, dude, Wesker is smart enough to plan this whole operation, but the minute it requires him to take his sunglasses off, he just becomes the most incompetent fuck of all time. And I can't get over it. I'll talk more about the Wesker gameplay in the first entry, but I just wanted to explain why this one went in number 2, because these two fights are almost exactly the same, and it's just, I don't understand, man. Like, it's cool that you have to work with your partner to reload the rocket launcher and stun him and then just inject him. You can do it really quickly, really easily. It's really cool if you speedrun it, but then on a first playthrough, it's like, oh god, what do we do? Oh, turn off the lights, LMAO, he has sunglasses. In first place, you all saw it coming. It's the Wesker and Jill boss fight. He's got 7 minutes to play. It's a cage match. It's WrestleMania time. You're duking it out. No one here. Well, Chris is probably trying to kill Wesker, but I think that's the only instance here of someone actually wanting to kill someone else. What I like about this boss is that you get a very different experience depending on which partner you're playing as, and you can just have Sheva deal with Wesker. You can have Chris deal with Jill. You don't have to pair it up as it seems like it pairs, but the characters aggro to different partners. Jill almost always aggroes to Sheva unless Chris is nearby. Wesker always aggroes to Chris unless Jill is nearby. It's really cool and it's really interesting just how the AIs work for this, and then you got to kind of use the corners to sneak up on Wesker, whereas with Jill you can fight her a bit more one-on-one, but you can't kill her. It's very much a you're keeping her busy until they leave type of thing, which doesn't sound engaging, but I promise you it is. It's really fun. If you're playing this as Sheva, it is not boring, which I think is really good. You're basically just getting the Jill boss fight, but Sheva's experiencing it, whereas Chris experiences the Wesker boss fight, and I really like that neither experience is exclusive because both characters do the Jill boss fight, both characters do the Wesker boss fight in the hangar and in Lots of Nightmares. And I really think it's just well designed and it's really engaging because yeah, it's just like a time waster boss, but it's just fun. Yeah, it's like cheesy and corny that Wesker's like, I'm just gonna play around with my arch nemesis, I'm not gonna kill him, because he's such a stupidly incompetent, arrogant piece of shit that it works. It works really well for his character how much of an arrogant piece of shit he is, that he would be like, oh, I don't have to kill the only person who is an actual threat to my operation because I don't think he's a threat to my operation. I wear sunglasses at night, by the way. I guess the main thing I like is that it puts the partner mechanics on the back foot a little bit because you have to fight each one by yourself. If you try to team up on one of them, the other one is just going to kick your ass while you're fighting the other person. So like if both people team up on Wesker, Jill's going to kick your ass and just shoot you in the back. If you team up on Jill, well, one, you're probably just going to accidentally kill Jill, but Wesker's going to kick your ass. And then you can do the combo moves to do big damage to him, and you can end the boss early. You can end the boss early. You don't have to wait out the whole timer. I think that's incredible. That is such fun game design for, it helps if you're like speedrunning it, you don't have to just wait the whole time and run in a circle. But it says something about Wesker's character, I think, even if the game doesn't directly acknowledge it, that if he doesn't win, he gets bored and he just leaves. And I think that adds a lot to Wesker's character just as a villain, and it's really cool. And this boss fight just really works on a gameplay and story level despite not involving the partner mechanic at all. And I just think that's cool. It's a fun boss. It's great. It's one of the most iconic in the whole series. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is one of the first boss fights I think of when I think of Resident Evil, just because how many plot threads are coming together here. You got Resident Evil 1 plot threads, Resident Evil 3 plot threads, Resident Evil Code Veronica plot threads. You even got like semi-loosely some Resident Evil 4 plot threads coming together right here. And it's just awesome. I love it. It's the best boss fight in the game. How's it going, my evil residents? Today we'll be taking a look at all of the enemies in Resident Evil 5 and ranking them worst to best. I'll mostly be ranking these off personal enjoyment, fun factor, game presence, and how much unfun frustration they can cause. This list is mostly subjective, though I'll get into game mechanics so I feel they're strongly relevant to the ranking. I'm not a game designer by any means, but if I feel something is well balanced or poorly executed, I'll make sure to bring it up if it affects the ranking. That said, this is my subjective list, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments as well. This is a member requested video. If you'd like to request a video, check out my channel memberships with the join button down below. And if you like this video, huge thank you to King of Horror, one of my malevolent residents, for requesting this video. I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into the video.
Stay on the bike! Oh my god!
Motorcycle Majinis suffer a lot for being basically the only enemy within the Savannah level, aka the level unanimously agreed to be worse than being tied to a chair and forced to play the opening part of RE7 12 times in a row. Not only are they the most used enemy in this level, they are only in this level and only otherwise appear in a QTE cutscene a little bit before this. All that on its own is circumstantial though, wrong place, wrong time you could say. What really makes these guys a pain in the ass is that they can throw axes and molotovs, which, if more than one decides to do so on a difficulty above amateur, you just have to take those hits. It stuns both players on the Jeep, and on harder difficulties, it does quite a lot of damage. The turret moves too slowly, at least on console, to shoot the projectiles down if they're off screen, and with how much noise there is from gunfire and the engines and the music, you can't hear any sort of sound cue that tells you if they're throwing something. It's a huge pain in the ass, and I really hope these enemies get reworked or tuned better in a potential remake, if they don't just cut this level entirely. Speaking of which, I think they'd make for a fun enemy type in regular gameplay, if they work in a way similar to like Chargers from Left 4 Dead 2. You could dodge them like Garradors or something like that, and then either shoot the driver or the gas tank to have it act as a grenade to clear enemies like the TNT Magini already are. Overall, just an actively unfun enemy to fight and deal with, though they have room for improvement if they remake this game. Crocodiles are easy to forget in this game, as they're easy to avoid and only in one small section of the game and one area of the marshlands level. That's the main reason they're ranked low, honestly. It's a cool idea of an enemy type that is super underused. I do appreciate that you don't have to kill any to progress through, as I'm generally not a huge fan of killing animals in games unless I have to. Same could be said for a lot of the fauna in this game, though there's one big exception to this that we will get to later.
Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it. Warm it up.
Liquors are severely underbaked in this game, despite having a whole half of a level devoted to them and building up some creep factor. It lands like a Breaking Bad character in a battle of hydrofluoric acid. Like, yeah, it's cool to see them one more time, but they're back for 5 minutes just to be essentially set dressing and pose very little threat, because they're so incredibly slow that you could just run past them in their first section. In the second, you can just have your partner shoot them off the wall like they're playing Duck Hunt, and it's a complete joke. One liquor in RE2 Remake has more threat than 100 do in this game, and I'm not exaggerating whatsoever. Liquors are an easy enemy to make work in an action setting, but this game is way too set on using them nostalgically to give them the juice up they really need to be terrifying in a way that works for an action game. This is another enemy that I think would work really well in the remake, even if they just poured it over from Resident Evil 2 Remake and boost the speed of them. It'd be a huge improvement over the ones that are in this game.
Marky, who are you talking about?
The freaking bat!
The Kipipeo, or the Flying Bat enemies, are overall fine. I mainly rank them as low because they just don't have that big of an effect on gameplay. They don't attack too often, they're loud and easy to see, so it's hard to forget about them and leave them till last, which is the only scenario they'd really grab you. I'm not sure what you could change about them to make them better, honestly, but I do think they need a little extra something to be more active presence when you fight them. As is, they're just handgun ammo consumers and not much else. Please, Capcom, I beg you, if you remake this game, don't give them a spit attack. I beg you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's Spider-Man! It's Spider-Man!
Here's where the game gets into gear with its enemy types, with the Bui Quichua, or the little crawling spider guys. They serve a similar role to the Kipipeo, but are actually effective. They're out of your immediate view, but blend in a bit more with other enemies or large groups of these, so they're more effective as an enemy that attacks rarely, but is out of the way to deal with. The main thing that makes them so effective and interesting, oddly, is that their grab attack is inescapable without your partner. Your partner has to save you from them, otherwise you'll just be waiting a long while until they jump off you on your own or you're hit by an enemy. I rank them so low mainly for two reasons. One, they're spiders, and spiders creep me out, and two, they're super underused in this game. You don't get to see them until Chapter 4, and after Chapter 4, they're basically not in the game anymore. If they had some more presence, I could honestly see them being in the top 10.
And how do you say so fit and skinny? So you think I'm skinny?
The Giant Magini is the first mini-boss on this list, and the main reason for that is that he just doesn't make a huge difference in the gameplay. He has no sauce. He works okay in the village square area of the tribe section, but is only used 1 or 2 times outside of that. He doesn't have any super unique attacks either. He basically just functions as a regular enemy that's taller and harder to stun. The concept works for the narrow paths of the village square, as I mentioned, but I think he really needs something to stand out with the other mini-boss enemies on the list.
You need to hang up that computer call. Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.
The Fat Man Majini, yes, that's his actual name, is almost exactly like the Giant Majini, yes, those mean the same thing, but not quite as tanky and much more common. He spawns regularly in the beginning and end of the game and works well as a bigger enemy to apply pressure and keep you alert. If you don't either keep him stunned regularly or take care of him quickly, he will knock you on your ass. Plus, he is basically invincible while doing his attack animation, so that reinforces even more that it's best to take him out pretty quick. He's a well-balanced enemy, but much like the Giant Majini, is essentially just a regular enemy that's more spongy. There's no special way to take him out, though he does block attacks to his face, which is a neat mix-up on him specifically. Overall, a fun enemy that just needs one little extra something. The Gatling Gun Majini, or JJ if you're an RE4 fan, are exactly like they were in RE4, and are actually mandatory for progress when you see them in the last section of the game. On a first playthrough, I really think these guys are a fun threat. They're tanky, they can be stunned or taken down with trip mines with a good partner communication. However, on repeat playthroughs, they're one of the easiest bosses to stun lock, since all they really have on you is range. Stun locking them especially sucks for their design because you're already at a safe distance from one of their enemies, especially if you have a sniper, to keep away from their minigun. You can just stand there and dump bullets into them with basically no issue. The arenas you fight them in make this especially easy as they have built-in cover spots, and it makes them pushovers in repeat playthroughs. It's a shame, as I remember really fearing these guys as a kid, but now they're basically no problem. The Ajule, or the dog enemies, feel like they're built for a different game. Their attacks are incredibly fast, like the Licker's jumping attack, but there's no dodge prompt. They can be hard to aim at least on console with the slow aim speed, and when their heads split open, it almost seems like they gain more health. They can be surprisingly spongy when you encounter the larger ones. They spawn in a surprising variety of sizes too. I don't know if you've noticed that, which I think is kind of neat. These enemies aren't overly difficult on their own, but depending on what other Majini they're with, they can become quite a problem, especially after they do the split head thing. On Professional, the damage they do is absolutely insane, even on their closed head leap attack. If I could just have one change made for them, just add a dodge prompt for that attack with really tight timing, and then they'll feel quite a bit more fair in larger numbers. Side note, I feel like a horrible human being when I kill one of these. Just their death animation is so freaking sad, and the noise they make, it's so sad.
We'd like to take a moment to announce all our food keeps blowing.
Okay, hear me out. The chickens are super helpful. I felt bad putting them in the top 10 as they're barely an enemy, but come on. They drop eggs. Eggs are super helpful in this game, especially if you know a certain little exploit with them to get a ton of money, and you get a ton of points from them in Mercenaries, so overall they're just incredibly helpful. Also, if you don't know, chickens do indeed attack the player when agitated, so that is why they made this list. Yes, it's a technicality. Yes, I wanted to be thorough. Did I just want to talk about the chickens? Yes. So here they are at number 11.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my...
I ended up placing the Military Majini in 10th because they're the most hit or miss faction as far as fun factor goes, which is the most important metric for me when playing a game. On one hand, they're more aggressive, have more variety in types with the stun rod guys, shell guys, armored guys, bulletproof shield guys, RPG guys, and assault rifle guys. There's tons of varieties of them. They really help at the end of the game feel like a fun challenge and really mix things up. However, as I briefly mentioned, they have gun enemies. They're not fun to fight, they're boring, and just turn this game into dollar store Gears of War. It totally breaks the flow, and the fun is sometimes complete bullshit on Professional, and just overall not what I'm here for in Resident Evil, same for many others. Gun enemies can work in Resident Evil, as Resident Evil 6 proves somewhat well, but here they're a complete miss. In addition, the armored enemies can spawn covered head to toe in armor like a Call of Duty Juggernaut, which just makes them damage sponges, so if you don't have a piercing weapon, it's not a good time. You can't engage much at all with the melee mechanics with them. While they're not as bad as the gun enemies, they can still be incredibly annoying. The ones with either leg armor or helmets, they're fine. They're a fun mix-up of the gameplay because you have to change what crit spot you're going for. But the ones with both, they suck a lot. Given they provide some of the most fun in the game and some of the least fun encounters in the game, I figured it would be best to place them at the bottom of the top 10, right in the middle of the list. Cephalo, the Wormhead Majini, suffer from one problem, and while it's not a big problem, it's especially annoying in Mercenaries. They take forever to kill without flash grenades. If you're out of flash grenades or mercs and are relying on a kill to keep your combo going, consider it gone if one of these guys spawns. Aside from that, I think they're one of the simplest but most fun enemies in the game, as they provide a good challenge to new players and warrant the high ammo drop in this game. But for veteran players, they can basically instantly be deleted if you're ready with flash grenades or flash rounds. They do have a one-hit kill move, but they attack so slowly that it's nearly impossible to get killed by it. Nearly. They've caught me off guard with it a couple times. Overall, just a really good enemy, but I do think tuning down their health just a tad and making them a bit more aggressive would make them much more interesting to fight, much like they did in Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Shooting. No, I'm just fucking about.
Fuck's sake.
This guy, the Red Executioner Magini, who's exclusive to the prison, single-handedly makes the prison mercenaries map hard. He's huge, so he will block the narrow pathways on the map. He looks really cool, and he has a metric fuck ton of health. It takes so much damage to put this guy down that it's almost not worth it to kill him for the points. Almost. He does give you quite a few for your effort, but on lower damage characters, he will eat up all of your ammo for sure. I think he's just as good of a mercenaries bonus enemy as Super Salvador, at least for gameplay. I'll admit he's a bit lacking in personality. Him looking like he joined a metal band does help his case, but unfortunately, given his small game presence, I can only put him at number 8. I feel bad putting him any higher considering he's only on one mercenaries map. Guardians of Insanity are exclusive to Lost in Nightmares. If you didn't know already, think that they make a pretty big impression on the game if you've played Lost in Nightmares, as they serve as a mix of a stalker enemy and a Lisa Trevor type just wall you have to run from. Even though they're clearly based on the Executioners as far as how they're like built from a game perspective, they're a super cool and underrated enemy that can catch you off guard in the puzzle section if you're not careful. I know I might be overrating these guys a bit, but I really think they're underrated and they have awesome designs. In that section where you're running around in the water trying to crank all the things to drop those ceilings on them, that section is so fun and it's so cool thanks to these guys.
Here, it's wild. It's sweeping the nation. It's
Fushigi!
The Duvalia, or the shell-headed guys, are another enemy that I never hear anyone talk about, and I've always been a huge fan of them. They're not overly threatening, especially if you have flash grenades, but they're weak to the legs and less so to their tail, which kind of balances them out as an enemy to pull your aim away from the headshot region. Their design is also super unsettling and creepy, and very unique for the franchise. Their kill move looks like it hurts. The Juavo from Resident Evil 6 pull a lot of inspiration from these guys in how some of the mutations look, but I think it was honestly best executed here. These guys are a presence when they spawn in, and it takes a lot of focus to take them down, but they aren't such a draw on your attention that they become irritating to fight, except the armored one before the Excella boss fight. That one can go fuck itself.
Shooting. No, I'm just fucking about.
Fuck's sake.
The Executioner gets top 5 from aura alone. He is very well designed, very intimidating, and very scary as the first mini-boss enemy because, well, he's intimidating. But he's still accessible to damage and actually defeat for new players. He has a very clear stun to teach new players that they can combo melee with their partner, but he isn't such a pushover early on that he isn't intimidating. Plus, if a new player kills him, he drops a treasure. This teaches them that even if it may be easier, fighting the mini-bosses can still yield them extra money, which is super valuable information on a first run where money is super important. I ranked him so high because of that new player experience and the role he plays in it. Sure, he may be an absolute pushover later on when you're upgraded and kitted out and more experienced, but nuking him like that into oblivion is honestly fun in its own right.
I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole!
The Wetlands Magini are easily the most unique faction to fight in this game just due to how nimble and quick they are. They aren't really any more tanky than any of the others aside from the wooden shield guys, but they get you used to being quicker and more aware of when to land your melee attacks. If you don't, this area becomes a huge strain on your ammo, this whole like middle section of the game. That's all thanks to these guys getting up not even a second after you knock them down. There isn't quite as much variety in their enemy types as you get the regular ones, the shield ones, and the crossbow ones. Their unpredictability and their speed just make them super engaging to fight without being irritating in a way like the military Magini.
So, without further ado, alright, so let's get this out onto a tray. Nice.
Sure, he may be Dr. Salvador at home, but you can't deny how cool the Chainsaw Magini is. It's simple, it's effective, but his design just does a good job of recapturing the magic that Dr. Salvador had from Resident Evil 4. It's not quite up to that level, but it's pretty close. What I love about this guy is that after you beat him on Pro, he has a chance to just get back up, which the first time I played Pro when I was a kid absolutely terrified me. He's a good raise of stakes from the Executioner, as he'll just one-hit you without fussing with the dying state, but never feels unfair. It's easy to get the hang of the damage you need to do to stun him, but it's still a good amount of damage, and if you get greedy about it, or you're not quite doing as much damage as fast as you need to, he will for sure just absolutely chop your head off, which is incredible.
Who wants to hold the tungsten cube? I do. All right, here you go.
I don't know if it's just because bugs freak me out, it probably is, but this guy's easily the scariest enemy in the entire franchise. The build up to fighting your first one, the nastiness of the arenas around where they spawn, their stink clouds are worse than SpongeBob's breath from that one episode, their kill move is absolutely brutal too, the first person POV into the endless impalement on their kill move, just god, it's horrifying. I'm not someone that finds this game remotely scary, I don't think anyone does, but these guys have never failed to at the very least make me want to take a shower after fighting them. The way you take them down is super fun as well. They have a sort of 3-stage weak spot that you have to clear enemies for and prioritize. However, it can still be hard to pull off if there's lots of enemies, but it's not so obnoxious or precise that it's irritating. It has a learning curve to it, and since it's consistent, it becomes muscle memory, but it can still be hard to pull off if there's a lot of enemies. It's also cool that they regrow limbs. It's a nice trick for new players that may not know how to fight it, or if veteran players just want to stun it and run past it, that's a great way to do so. It takes extra damage from acid and electric rounds in the grenade launcher too, so it's pretty consistent to go against if you're prepared. If not though, it is a super unpredictable, terrifying enemy, one of my favorites in Resident Evil history. I really think the Town Magini deserve the top spot for one simple reason. They're just fun as fuck to fight. They're simple, straightforward, have some variety with the Cephalo, Dynamite, and Molotov enemies, but they're just a solid experience if you want to hop in and just have some fun punching zombies in the face. Because of this, they're great for new players. As an early enemy, they get to learn the ropes of the game without being bogged down by too many special enemies. That said, the same thing lets a super experienced player absolutely clean house and go for a more stylish playstyle and see how to work those things in for tougher enemies, or go for super high, super good combos in Mercenaries. With the Dynamite and Molotov guys, they're as helpful as they are dangerous. You can shoot them out of their hands, and the Cephalo aren't too common, so you shouldn't run through your flash grenades too soon. The enemies stay on the ground for a good amount of time for some easy takedowns, so overall, even though they're the most basic enemy type in the game, it's hard to argue that hopping into RE5 and fighting some Town Magini on public assembly isn't an absolute blast. I think they're also a big part of what makes the early game fun and iconic, since a veteran player can get by them pretty quickly and get their S rank, but a new player won't feel totally overwhelmed and helpless by the tough enemies. Not to mention, some of their designs are just iconic. They just look great. I will always recognize these guys. I don't know if that's just because I've played this game too much, but they just have standout designs. They're really cool. They just all look awesome.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl with yellow feathers in her hair.
How's it going, my evil residents? Today we're going to tediously, meticulously, somewhat boringly go through all of the chapters in Resident Evil 5, and we're going to rank them worst to best based on how much worst to best they are. This is going to be a subjective list. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be a subjective list. There's not really a way to objectively rank these, except for a couple that I think are objectively horrible levels that I will talk about. But it will be mostly subjective, and that's pretty much going to do it for the explanation of how this list listicles. Yeah, let's get right into it.
I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole!
Last place, 16th place by a wide margin, not even close. There could be 500 levels in this game. This level would still be at the fucking bottom. It's the Savannah level. Do you know why it's the Savannah level? What do you think of when you think of Resident Evil? Now, whether you think of gripping, edge of your seat action, whether you think of nail-biting survival horror, whether you think of Chris riding one of those things that's out front of grocery stores, whether you think of Leon being a little gay, this level has none of that. Not a thing. It's an on-rails turret thing. The best thing you have is the silly driver guy saying, "We're going around a tight turn, hang on!"
Got some sharp curves up ahead. Hold on tight. It's gonna get bumpy. Hang on. That won't even scratch the paint. That's gonna affect the resale value. Got some sharp curves up ahead. Hold on tight. Trying to ram us into the river. Do something.
And that, who cares? And then you get the worst El Gigante fight of all time. I know his name's not El Gigante. Correct me in the comments. I'm banning you from my comment section. He's basically El Gigante. He's El Gigante, but from Dollar Tree. Okay? I don't care what his actual name is. He sucks to fight. He's boring to fight. And if they remake this game, just cut this level. Get rid of it. Yes, I'm Capcom. I'm telling you to cut content. Please remove this content from the game. Nobody wants it. Nobody likes it. When I replay this game, every time I get to this level, I turn off the game and I stop playing it for like 2 days, and then I restart playing the story mode when I no longer feel like hating this level. That is how bad this level is. It stops me from playing the game. It's the only level where I will boot it up and go, oh my god, and turn the game off. That's how bad it is. So it goes to number 16. No, you know what? I'm adding an extra blank spot. This list now has 17 spots. This one goes to 17. 16 is blank. And now we're gonna move on to number 15.
I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah?
You, me, gas station. What are we getting for dinner? Sushi, of course.
All right, moving on from that horrible experience. Sorry, I blacked out for a second. Don't know what I said. In 15th place, we have experimental facility. The amount of pain it causes me when you walk into this hallway and you just see these machine gun Majini, that alone puts us at number 15 because I hate fighting just regular soldiers in Resident Evil. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not. In fact, I know it's not, but I know one of you is going to be like, actually, the Majini being smart is actually very integral to the lore. I don't care. It's stupid. And they're not fun to fight. They're actively unfun to fight. So that's why I yearn for this level to be over. It doesn't have the interesting level design of the later levels to offset the machine gun guys sucking. So it goes to number 15.
Plentiful and newly discovered oil reserves.
Oil?
For 14th place, we have a significant bump in quality from the last two, at least in my opinion. We have the oil field - drilling facilities. I will say that is like the worst name for a level. Just pick one. Like, what the hell? This is a sort of on a boat rail section that is very short, and then you fight a kind of shitty boss. So, game does that again later, and it's better. Not much better, but it is better. So this is just kind of redundant. It's gray and bland and boring, and by this time the swamp area has overstayed its welcome, and you just kind of want to move on to the caves level and get a bunch of gold. So yeah, it's just boring and it feels like filler, despite the fact that it has a key character boss fight, which I think says a lot about this game's plot. So it goes to number 14.
I am not doing any hoeing.
I don't even know what hoeing is.
Yeah, well, hoeing
And anyway, you don't need a hoe. There's only one.
All right, in 13th place, we have the Underground Garden, Chapter 5-1. This level, honestly, I just think it sucks, but I give it points for what it tries to do. It has a very unique boss fight in the form of the spider guy at the end, and it tries to be scary at the beginning with the liquor room with all the slashes and dashes and blood and guts all over the wall. It doesn't work at all. It's not scary in the slightest, but hey, they tried. I give them points. I give them like 5 points. 5 arbitrary cool points for trying to be actually scary. That's pretty much it. It's barely better than Experimental Facility, to be completely honest with you. It's just that it doesn't have as many gun Majini, and it has a decent boss, and it tries to be a little spooky. So yeah, it goes to number 13. In 12th place, we have Worship Area, otherwise known as the area where you just get beamed by the sun because you have the attention span of a peanut. This level's okay. It's kind of just that main first area and then some puzzles, and it's okay. I mean, it's fine. It pales in comparison to the level that came before it. It is not even close to as good. At least I think so. And that's the main reason it's kind of lame, just because the level before it was so good, and then this one is just it's just which makes it feel worse in comparison because they're right back to back. So this one goes to number 12 because I feel like it.
I like singing. I like dancing.
I like trains.
In 11th place, we have Train Station. I like the beginning of this mission, and I like the final boss. Everything else, no. The mines area is a decent idea, made horrible by the fact that Sheva's AI is the worst. And then if you're playing in co-op, your friend with the flashlight, he's gonna troll you, okay? If you give your friend the flashlight, he's gonna troll you. And if your friend gives you the flashlight, you're gonna troll him. That's just how it works. And yeah, it's funny, but it's also not fun, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those things that, yeah, we do a little trolling, but also it's genuinely frustrating and you consider not playing the game with your friend anymore. It's one of those things where it doesn't work with the AI, it doesn't work well in co-op, and then you have the, like, mines area, which is and then you have the outside Breaking Bad Mexico filter fucking desert area that is just so, it's too long, and it has too many ganky spots with enemies that if you don't coordinate properly are really annoying. And especially in our first playthrough, are really freaking annoying because they spawn like TNT guys behind you with no warning, and then you just get blown up. It's really freaking annoying. It gets number 11, despite the fact that it has some really shitty areas. It is overall an okay mission.
See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me.
In 10th place, we have Main Deck. This one gets so low because it's barely a level. It's basically a boss fight. You do some QTEs, you run in a hallway, kill like 5 enemies, boss fight. The boss fight's cool, but that's all it's got. Like it's a cool boss fight. It's not like a great boss fight. It's not bad. It's not even okay. It's cool. It's good. It's okay. It's not okay. I just said it's not okay. It's cool and it's good. I give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10, but that's all it has. It doesn't have any other cool gameplay stuff in it. It just has that quick time event section. It has the funny cutscene where Stella dies, which is, I always find that cutscene funny, and I don't know what that says about me. But yeah, I mean, it cracks the top 10, so it's not doing too bad, but it's not doing anything too special either.
暁は集った。
In 9th place, we have Public Assembly, which is the second level in the game where Chris tries to save that blonde lady and he doesn't, and it's a very like vanilla way to reestablish his arc of not being able to save anybody because this game is well written. Yeah, overall this level's fun. I would say it's just a little bit dry after how bombastic the first level is at the end. I understand why it's like that because it's supposed to be like, okay, a little chillax, try to be creepy moment after the super dramatic opening level, but it doesn't work very well. It just kind of serves to make it feel a little boring, at least I think so. And the final boss is really fun. That's honestly the main reason it's so high. If it didn't have the really cool Ouroboros iconic final boss, it would probably be closer to like 13 or 14, but I really like that boss, so it goes here.
All your trailer needs come to Big Tex Trailers right here on Beach Boulevard in Anaheim. Yup!
In 8th place, we have Storage Facility. This level I feel like is a little bit slept on because you have the cool container section, you have the PewDiePie bridge section, you get introduced to the flying guys, and there's that cool market section that you fight through with the helicopter support. It's just a really freaking awesome mission, and that's pretty much it. I just think it's a fun mission, and I think it executes the gameplay flow of Resident Evil 5 really well. There's lots of good co-op moments to work with, and it's just fun. It's just a fun mission. It doesn't do anything spectacular. Like, it's not the best mission, but it's a solid mission, and I feel like when they are restructuring this game for a remake, when they do a remake, they should really take a closer look at this level, because I think this level just gets the gameplay flow most correct out of any of the levels, but it doesn't have like a super standout moment that makes the level like really iconic, so it goes to number 8.
Take a seat by the fire and relax for a minute. Exoro.
In 7th place, we have the first level, Civilian Checkpoint. The first half is a walking section, but the last half, where it's the holdout section, is just so good. Unpopular opinion, the holdout section of Resident Evil 5 is better than the one in Resident Evil 4 because it's actually hard. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, throw your tomatoes, throw your freaking peanuts at me. I don't give a damn. This one is more fun because it's more stressful, because it's more difficult. At least I think so. Okay, you have less ammo to work with on enemies that are more aggressive and tougher, and yeah, you have your co-op AI, but it sucks. And if you're playing with a friend on your first playthrough, you both have never played this before, you don't really know how to combo moves, you're panicking, you're freaking out, and I think it's fun to like freak out and stress about how to deal with all the machinery with your friend, and you don't know if it's timed, if you have to kill a certain amount of enemies, and then the executioner guy shows up and he breaks down the fence and he slaps your friend, and your friend starts screaming into the microphone and deep frying your ears, and you're like, shut the fuck up, and you're trying to revive him, and then you both die. That's classic Resident Evil 5, and you know, this level just does a great job of introducing that, and I think it's iconic, and it also gave birth to my favorite freaking Mercenary stage, so despite the fact that I ranked it at number 4 on my list, go watch that video, and it's just a great level.
See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me.
In 6th place, we have Ship Deck, not to be confused with Main Deck, completely different level. Also not to be confused with Bridge Deck. They got a little lazy towards the end of this game with the level names, but you know, we ball, I guess. Ship Deck is cool because I think it takes the co-op mechanics to their most extreme with literally just trapping you in one section and having the other person have to come and save you while you hold off all the enemies to make their job easier when they come and save you. The person saving you, that person's job, the difficulty of that completely depends on how not stupid the person trapped in the crate is. So naturally, if you're playing this by yourself, you're gonna have a bad time because the AI sucks. Unless you give Sheva/Chris a sniper, then it's okay. But yeah, it's just a fun level, and I think it really works well with the co-op mechanics. And it's a cool setting. Like the top of a boat gives Revelations 1 vibes. It's really fun. It's really cool, and it's just a good level. In the same way that Storage Facility is. It just does the gameplay loop right.
You turned in a random assemblage of sentences. In fact, the sentences.
In 5th place, we have Ouroboros research facility, which is, it is certainly a level. I'm just kidding. This has the Wesker fight in it. Of course it gets top 5. It's iconic. It's awesome. It has the Wesker fight, baby. And it has that liquor section where you have to have your friend go around the whole area and you have to shoot out the liquors like it's fucking Duck Hunt or something. It's really fun. It's like oddly fun. And I recently replayed this game with a friend, and he was the one that went up there. He was just terrified the whole time, despite the fact that I was like, I can shoot down the liquors. It's okay. You barely have to interact with the liquors. And then as he's pushing the crate, he's like, I'm gonna die. This is terrifying. I'm gonna freaking die. Sometimes I forget how terrifying this game can be if you don't play it 24/7. Like most people watching Resident Evil 5 content in the year of our Lord 2024 do. But just that fear factor of Wesker kicking your ass, the liquors, I just think it's all executed very well here, unlike that other liquor room in the other chapter we talked about. This one is a lot more fun, and it's iconic, and you get the hilarious Magnum in a sarcophagus. What's a Magnum doing in a sarcophagus? I don't know. I feel like that implies Wesker put it there, and I always find that silly, and I have to bring it up every time I talk about this boss fight, so I'm bringing it up here now. It's like, it's obligatory. I have to do it. I can't not bring it up. I have to.
What he said. What he said.
In 4th place, we have Execution Ground. This is another one that I think just executes the gameplay flow really well. It has the cool oil drilling section. It has that intro part with the alligator. And then it has that village section where you have to press the button, or there's the chance that your friend can get trapped if they try to be greedy and steal the Magnum. Alternatively, if you're playing this with a guinea pig, aka a friend who's never played this before, you can tell them to go get the Magnum, saying, hey, there's a Magnum for there, you should grab it. And then they get trapped, and then you laugh at them. And I think that's really funny, and they should add more stuff like that when/if they remake this game, because it's funny. And I just think it's a really solid level. It executes really well on the gameplay flow of the game. I know I've said that multiple times before, but some of these levels just do not do that. So I think it's really key to kind of point out when that happens, especially when it's the 4th one on the list. So yeah, just a really great level.
I was able to build this in a cave with a box of scrap.
In 3rd place, we have the Uncharted 2 level. We have the caves. This level is awesome, aside from the little freaking annoying spiders. I hate them. But otherwise, you get a ton of treasure in this level. There's tons of cool encounters. There's lots of like really interesting, like there's the person crossing the bridge, and then you have to meet up in the middle and continue. There's the part with the giant spiky flaming balls. There's the tunnel of the falling totems that you have to destroy your X button to survive. And it ends off with a freaking awesome boss fight in a whole giant plus-shaped room that's a giant puzzle. It's just awesome. And you get the grenade launcher on this level. It should be number 1 for that. Putting it at number 3 because I'm not that crazy about the grenade launcher. But you get the grenade launcher on this level, okay? I mean, it can't go below top 5 and give you the grenade launcher. So it gets an easy number 3. That's it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. This level is just awesome.
See the line where the sky meets the sea. It calls me.
In 2nd place, we have the last level of the game, Bridge Deck. A stupid, boring name for the climactic boss fight of the entire game. You start this out on the boat, going through all of the bulkheads to get to Wesker's area. Side note, I don't understand the layout of this boat at all. Where is he keeping this jet? I don't know. Then you get the epic fight with Wesker, where you exploit his cool factor and just abuse the fact that he has sunglasses to inject him with his penicillin or whatever the fuck it is. And then you get the epic volcano boss fight where Chris punches a boulder, and it's just incredible. Boss fight's a little easy, but it's fun and it's awesome, and it's fighting Wesker in a volcano. Like, what more do you want? It's awesome. It's pinnacle Resident Evil 5. It is the peak cheese. You don't get cheesier than this. Even in Resident Evil 6, I don't think anything quite tops the level of cheese of Christopher Redfield right hooking a boulder in an active volcano to save his partner that he met 4 days ago from his arch nemesis who trained him to be the man he is right now, but also turned to the dark side. Like that's primo cheese. That's top shelf, aged to perfection cheese, and it's all in this level, so it gets number 2. In 1st place, not even close, best level in the game, it's the Marshlands level. Semi-open world? Why aren't modern gamers talking about this all the time? That's all the fuck they talk about. This is basically what the lake section of Resident Evil 4 Remake is, and people love that level, so this is the same thing. So obviously, it's fucking awesome. I mean, you got some side quests, You got some Easter eggs. You got a secret RPG hidden on a boat. That's so cool. And then each of the distinct areas has its own challenge. You got the alligator section. You got the guys throwing spears at you in the long, like, spinny area. And then you have the which hut is the totem in? It's always on the one on the left. Always. Unless it's not. Do you remember? Do you? I don't think you do. If you do remember, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to gaslight you until you change your mind. So maybe don't comment that. Maybe comment something else. Yeah, this level is just awesome from beginning to end. I love it. When I replay this game, this is the level I look forward to the most. And it honestly is the only thing that keeps me going after struggling through the Savannah level, is knowing the marshlands is next. That's how cool this level is. And also, ramming the speedboat into the dock at full speed and then pressing the X button to watch the cutscene of them calmly getting off the boat is so fucking funny. It will never not be funny. So, it gets number one. It's number one for that alone.
We are more than just good friends, and this is how the story ends.
How's it going, my evil residents? Today we're going to take a look at all of the costumes in Resident Evil 5, and we're going to rank them arbitrarily. This is a subjective list. Your list will be completely different from mine because I'm sure you have a completely different taste and preference for costumes. There's no objective way to rank costumes. I just want to get that out of the way to begin with. And yeah, this is my subjective ranking of all the costumes in Resident Evil 5. We are going to be including Wesker and Jill's costumes from Mercenaries. Those will be on here in addition to Chris's and Sheva's, but Barry, Rebecca, Excella, Josh will not be. I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into the video.
Pepperoni and green peppers, mushrooms, olive chive. Pepperoni and green peppers, mushrooms, olive chive.
In last place, you hate to see it, or I don't hate to see it because I made the list and I decided to put him here. It's Heavy Metal Chris. I do not like this skin. It obscures too much of your view. The shoulder, it just bothers me, and it's boring. And what is it supposed to look like? He looks like Fallout power armor, but without any of the stuff that makes Fallout power armor cool. So he just looks like a guy in metal. And I guess that's some people's jam. I'm not a big fan. All of his other costumes are much better, I think. Heavy Metal Chris goes at the bottom just because I don't like anything about it. I mean, not much more to explain than that. It also actively damages my ability to play the game because the shoulder pads are so massive and it takes up so much space. So it goes at number 14. At number 13, we have Club and Sheva. Now, I've got some choice words about this skin. I want to say, from the neck down, this skin is okay. I think it's not fantastic. I think they could have done a better design. Just, it's all a little bit ugly, but it looks fine. I understand that it's like a clubbing outfit. That's cool. My main gripes with it are the skirt. 1 is too short. 2, the front of it is hideous. 3, the belt doesn't match. And 4, the shoes are hideous. Other than that, it's fine. So basically, if they just changed most of it, it would be fine. But my main gripe with this skin, the reason I never use this skin is the hair. She has Sweet Life of Zack and Cody hair, and it's horrible. I do not like her hair. It does not suit her at all. Like, I could see this working on somebody else. It's kind of similar to Rebecca's hair, but it doesn't work for Sheva at all. No. This costume would be so much better with her regular hair. Please, Capcom, if you remake this game, give her, if you get rid of this outfit, if you don't change it, at least change her hair back. Or have it be like a selectable option like in 4 Remake. Please, Capcom, I beg of you. But yeah, this costume goes second to last on number 13. It's far from a favorite. She has many other way better outfits.
For the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
In the 12th spot, we have BSAA Jill. I did say this is the same exact skin from Resident Evil 1 Remake. I did say in that one that I wasn't a huge fan of it, and that stands here. It just looks really bland. Jill has so many iconic designs that they could have pulled any sort of inspiration from, but they just gave her blue shirt, gray pants. And then I don't like the hat. I don't know. Jill shouldn't be wearing a baseball cap. It just feels weird. I don't know. I understand they probably did it to differentiate her from Sheva more, but at that point, you could have just given her classic hair and just say she got a haircut or something. I don't know, okay? I don't know. I think this skin is really boring, and it's by far her most boring look in any game. And honestly, that fact is what knocks it down so low. The skin on its own isn't too horrible, but in context with how many other amazing outfits she has, it just makes it more sad that it's boring. So it goes at number 12.
You just talked just now.
Did I?
At number 11, we have Fairy Tale Sheva. I almost really like this skin. Like, it's a good skin, okay? It's a good skin. The hood is awesome. The physics on the hood, the way it like moves, especially in some of the cutscenes, stellar. It looks amazing for how old this game is. It looks incredible. But the skirt is too short. It's too sexualized. That's my main problem with it. If it was just like a regular fairy tale outfit, I would like it much better. I really like the boots. Just make the skirt a little longer so that every time she gets knocked over, she's not like flashing everyone. It's a way better skin. That's literally, it just bothers me how kind of over sexualized it is for no reason. You can make the fairy tale skin really good and just not have those elements. I feel like that's kind of weird to include in a fairy tale skin because fairy tales are usually more for younger people. I don't know if I'm overreaching for this. I probably am. Or if I'm overthinking this, like I said, I most likely am. I don't know. Just the over-sexualization of it just kind of rubs me the wrong way, specifically for this one. The other ones, I don't mind it as much. This one specifically just bugs me a little bit, and that's why I ranked it at number 11.
Water, and the only thing I can do is to drink my own pee.
At number 10, we have Safari Chris. Now, this one is honestly only higher than Fairy Tale Sheva and BSAA Jill because it's hilarious. I do actually use this skin a lot more than a lot of the ones I ranked above it because of how funny it is. The white hair, the zebra suit from top to bottom. This is a zebra suit, a zebra print suit, and he's got a little necklace on. Where did Chris get a zebra suit? Where did he get that from? He even has zebra shoes on. Have you looked at his shoes? Probably not, because it's a third-person game. He has zebra print on his shoes. That's all I gotta say. This is the funniest skin in the entire game. At least I think it is. This is the funniest skin in the game. I don't think it's a good skin, but the sheer amount of joy it brings me in looking at it, that's what lands it here. that's what gets it in the top 10. Safari Chris goes here. I feel bad ranking it higher because it's not a good skin, but dear God, is it funny. At number 9, we have Warrior Chris. Now, this is another one that I would rank higher if it was just a little bit less over-sexualized. This one also makes me a little bit uncomfortable. It doesn't bother me as much as Fairy Tale Sheva's, but I already talked about that. At least they're fair. Hey, they sexualize Chris and Sheva. I give them points for that. They're fair. At least they're fair. I think what mainly bugs me about it, it's not the fact that he's shirtless. The fact that he's shirtless isn't what bugs me. I think it's the leather daddy pants are what that's what kills me. That and the aviators. That's what kills me about this skin. It's like, it's just so funny. Oh god. Yeah, it's funny in the way the Safari Chris skin is, but it's a better skin. Honestly, that's about it. I mean, I don't have too much to say about it. It's a better skin than Safari Chris. I still don't think it's super great. It's just funny that of all the ideas they had, they went with this one. Fine by me. A little bit over-sexualized. So, it gets number 9.
Chris? Stop it.
At number 8, we have Stars Chris. Now, I know what you're thinking. Whoa, the Stars outfit's this low? Are you insane? It doesn't fit this version of Chris. He's too buff to fit in this outfit. This outfit has to contain him, and it simply can't. It can't. This is fledgling virgin Chris outfit on Chad bicep bulging Chris. It doesn't, I don't think it works. It doesn't gel well. It bothers me the same way that RE5 Chris being in RE1 remake does. It's the same kind of uncanny valley, like, you shouldn't be here. You need to leave. That kind of like, it just bugs me a little bit. So, it's not a bad skin, obviously. It goes literally in the middle because it is good. I just don't think it suits this version of Chris very well. And I'm not a big fan of the Stars outfits to begin with. I do think if they all followed the palette that Wesker has and Code Veronica Chris has of having a black vest with their color of shirt under it, so much better. I think that's way better. And it makes more sense for them as police officers. So I think they should go with that style. But yeah, this one goes at number 8.
Wesker, you're pitiful.
At number 7, right above it, because it's almost the same outfit, we have Stars Wesker. I felt bad putting these too far away from each other, so I literally just put them next to each other. I do think Stars Wesker works a lot better because he's got the Stars headset from Resident Evil 1 Remake, and he has, I'm just gonna be honest, I just like this color combo better. That's it. That's why it goes above stars. Chris, I just like this color combo. I like blue better than green. So that's it. That's literally it. I don't know what more you want me to say. I said everything I feel about the Stars outfits in general in the number 8 spot, and I just like blue better than I like green. So Stars Wesker goes in number 7.
Chris! Hurry up! Hurry up! Chris!
Roger! Come on!
Hurry up!
Come on!
Come on!
At number 6, we have BSAA Sheva, which is her default outfit. I've always really liked this outfit, actually. When I think of Sheva, I don't think of any of her alternate costumes first. I think of this outfit right here. I think it's awesome. There's not another, like, purple Resident Evil character, like main character at least. So I think her rocking the purple top looks awesome, and it's iconic. It separates her from anyone else because nobody else really has her like color, and she stands out and she looks awesome. She looks badass. So this really good regular outfit. It's going at number 6.
What'd you get, dude?
I got boner.
Oh, cool.
At number 5, I know I complained about the over-sexualization of the other skins, and this one is just as bad, but Tribal Sheva just looks so badass, okay? She does! She looks awesome! I can't be the only one thinking this, right? She just looks badass. She looks awesome. And the costume is so like intricately designed and well made, and all like the face paint and stuff looks so cool. I know it's clearly over sexualized. It's just, I like it, okay? Leave me alone. I'm not gonna get into the whole debate of sexualizing video game characters, but I do think that when it's done well and it's done tastefully, it's fun. And the other costumes that are over sexualized are a little bit tacky, and they don't suit the characters very well, and they just look a little weird. This one, I think, suits how badass Sheva is, and it's awesome and it's very well made. Yes, I know it kind of boils down to just leopard print bikini with extra steps, but I think it works really well. I will die on this hill. Call me a hypocrite in the comments if you want. I don't care. I like this skin.
Do you know anything about the Chinese zodiac?
Oh, Jill, no.
At number 4, if you watched my RE3 and REverse Costumes Ranked video, you know how much I like this outfit. It's Jill's battlesuit. Now, I will say, I do like the texture and stuff of it better in REverse. I think some of the like built-in shadowing on the costume and like the wear points of the costume look a little weird in RE5. It's kind of aged kind of weirdly, but I like the battlesuit. It looks awesome. I do think it's weird that in Mercenaries she has it zipped like all the way down. I know it's like, it doesn't need to be like that, okay? It just doesn't need to be like that. Zip it up. It's zipped up in the story mode. I don't understand. And I know I'm complaining about the over-sexualization thing again after just putting something in number 5, literally for that reason. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a filthy hypocrite. I know. I understand. But the battlesuit's just awesome. Oddly suits Jill well, and I can't really explain why. I don't get why, because old Jill would have never worn this in a million years. I don't think she would have worn this. But RE5 Jill, it suits RE5 Jill. Like, when I think of RE5 Jill, I think of this. I don't think of her other outfit, because this is how she appears in most of the game. I don't quite know how to explain why it suits her as well as it does. If anyone in the comments can explain it, please feel free. Please save me from this pain. And I know it's not satisfying to put something in the top 5 and be able to explain why. I will be honest, yes, it does look good on her, and that does play into how high it plays, but it's not the only thing that matters, because there's 3 other costumes I like above this. But this same costume on, like, Sheva, for example, it wouldn't be nearly as high. Because it doesn't suit Sheva. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not just because of that it ranks so high. It suits the character, it fits her well, and it sexualizes her in a mostly tasteful way. When they zip the battlesuit all the way down, that's a no. That's really weird. No. Generally, when it's like zipped up and stuff, or zipped to a reasonable level, it's badass and it fits the characters. It's going in number 4. Okay? Call me a simp or whatever the fuck you want in the comments. I don't care, okay? I don't care anymore. I've already cooked my reputation in this video, so we're just moving on to the top 3.
The fucking place! I fucking hate it! It's full of dickheads! I fucking hate it!
Number 3, we have Midnight Wesker. I would argue this is Wesker's best costume in any game, hands down. I don't know how many people agree with me, or they think his RE4 costume is better, or they like the stars look, but I think this is his best look. With or without the coat, it would go in the same place, so I'm not ranking them separately. I really like the patterning of his outfit with like the squares. I know in the wrong lighting it can just look like a tarp, but I think it looks really good, and I think it mixes up the visual flair of it just not just being like a straight leather costume. I think it makes it look a lot better, and it sells it a lot better. It having that like checker pattern, I think it makes it look awesome, and it makes it iconic. And then his hair, Wesker looks amazing. He looks so good. And then yeah, that's it. It goes to number 3. At number 2, we have BSAA Chris. This is the costume I think of when I think of Chris. This one right here. From any game. I don't think of RE8 Chris. Why would I think of RE7 Chris? I don't think of Code Veronica Chris. Chris from RE1. I think of this Chris right here. Just something about his like tactical t-shirt thing, his biceps bulging, the knife on his back, his hair. He looks iconic. This is iconic Chris. This is Chris. It feels like a refined look for Chris that suits him, but isn't overly generic military, but also still kind of is, because Chris is just kind of generic military guy sometimes. That's the way he's written sometimes. It just can't be helped. That's how Capcom writes him, so it's just going to show in his character. So while it does have some of those elements, it stands out. Just no one else in the game looks like this. He looks really good. It suits him well. Shows off those biceps. Biceps being out is the equivalent of Sheva's vest being down. It works better for Chris because it is part of his personality, whereas Jill's boobs aren't a part of her personality. Chris's biceps are, because he yokes himself up to be able to keep up with all the bioweapon bullshit. So it goes to number 2. This is the iconic Chris look. I know it might be a little controversial rating the default costume this high, but he can't beat it. He can't beat BSAA Chris. This is his best look by far. At number 1, yeah. Okay, Business Sheva. This is just such a cool costume. I love the glasses. The glasses are so cool. And then her having the suit on with the holster is just so badass. It's like she was at like a business meeting or something, and she's like, oh shit, there's an attack right now. We gotta go. We gotta fight the... And then she puts on the vest and she goes, the skirt is too short. That is my only gripe with this skin. But because the game is from like the waist up, I can basically ignore it. But other than that, this skin is awesome. I just think it's really cool and it's really badass. And it suits her character oddly well. We don't ever see her being any sort of like businessy type character. She's very much seems like a gets her hands dirty, boots on the ground character. I do think they could have executed Chris's alternate costumes a lot better than they did. I like the ideas of them, like having the Mad Max style Chris outfits. That's such a good idea, but I just don't think they executed it as well as they executed Sheva's. That's why Chris's are lower. It's not because I'm literally bisexual, okay? I don't care. Sheva isn't higher than Chris because she's hotter than Chris. They're both hot. They just executed Sheva's costumes better than they did for Chris. At least I think so. Notice how I put Wesker's skin tight outfit above Jill's. I also put Wesker's skin tight outfit above Sheva's skin tight outfits. So my goal here wasn't to be like, this one is the hottest outfit, so it gets in the top. No, this game just by nature just has very overly sexualized alternate costumes, more so than all the other costume rankings I've done before, so I felt like I needed to make it clear. I personally think that sexualization of characters is fine as long as it suits the character, it's tasteful, it fits them, and it's tasteful. And I think this one does, even though it is clearly just a sexualized outfit. But I will say, if they do this outfit in the remake, I really think they should give her pants. And I know that's going to make a lot of people complain and be like, no, they're nerfing how hot our characters are. No, it's I'm going to put it this way. The opening shot of Sheva in this game is literally a shot of her ass. Now imagine that in suit pants, okay? Both camps win. Both camps win. That's all I'm going to say.
how's it going, my evil resident? Today we're going to take a look at all of the Mercenaries characters in Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries, and we're going to rank them from worst to best based on my personal opinion, because if I rank them objectively, you guys would just flame me in the comments and say like, no, you're wrong, dude. Midnight Whisker's actually the best. So, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to rank them subjectively, because it's more fun for me, because I have very subjective opinions about all these characters, and if you're good at the game, honestly, it doesn't really matter, except it kind of does, but it mostly doesn't. So, there's 18 mercenary characters, and this is going to be a long fucking video, so let's get started.
Yes!
In last place, 18th place, we have BSAA Jill. I've seen the error of my ways with her pistol when I ranked the Resident Evil 5 weapons. The PX4 kind of sucks. Yeah, you get crits all the time. Yeah, it's fine, but score be damned. You will not get any score. If you are playing this game for score, don't pick Jill. If you're trying to do all enemies routed, I guess fine, go for it. But she has like okay kill moves. She's okay to play as. She has an okay machine gun, and her pistol will not get you any points. She does come with flash grenades, so I guess that's good. But yeah, she just doesn't have that much going for her. So she goes in last place, which is very sad.
Tell me your dreams, I will dream them too.
In 17th place, we have BSAA Chris, and he suffers from RE4 Leon syndrome, where he has a shitty shotgun and a shitty handgun, except the shitty handgun is okay in this game. He's the default Mercenaries character. I mean, what more do you want? He gives you a grenade, a first aid spray, and the default kit. It's familiar, it's cool, it's hip, it's wow, and how. And yeah, he's just fine. He's okay. I'd say the only actually bad character in this game is BSAA Jill. There's a couple of other ones you could argue for, but I think they're more fun to play as because they have silly moves. But yeah, Chris is he's just kind of boring to play as. You've played as him through the whole main game, and then you unlock the bonus mode. You're like, oh boy, I get to play as Chris again. I mean, if you like Chris, cool, but I like Chris, but I'm playing Mercenaries to play as all the weirdos, okay? I want to play as, like, you know, everyone else. Does that make sense? So Chris goes at number 17.
Protect them! Where were you when your own people needed you? Hiding!
In 16th place, we have Battlesuit Jill. They did Jill dirty in this game because I hate this machine gun, and she gets my least favorite sniper, and that's it. Yeah, she has grenades, but they're not flash grenades, and flash grenades are just better. That's pretty much all I got to say. Yeah, she's dripped out. She's in her iconic battlesuit outfit. First person to bring up that her battlesuit is unzipped in the comments, I am banning you from my comment section. But yeah, she has kind of attack moves like default Jill, and she has boring weapons. The weapons are better than regular BSAA Jill, but they're just boring, and I personally don't like them very much. So she goes here in 16th place, which is very sad because Jill is out of the list. I will not be talking about Jill anymore in this video, and that's sad, but that's the way it is.
Sometimes I wonder what the old me say.
In 15th place, we have Business Sheva, and the main reason I ranked her down here is because she has proximity mines, which are a pain in the ass to use in Mercenaries, and I don't like her handgun that much. I honestly prefer Chris's handgun, but if I was going to take a handgun, this is like the last one I'd take, at least in Mercenaries, besides BSAA Jill's, but that's a Mercenaries exclusive, so I still would sort of rather use that one. I don't know what I'm talking about. She does have the L-Hawk, which does help, but she just honestly just generally struggles with firepower. If you're playing on a map that just has regular Magini, you're gonna be fine, but if you're playing on a map with any remotely difficult enemy, you're not gonna be fine. You're not gonna be having a good time. Because, at least for me, my Magnum ammo drop rate in this game just is horrible. I don't know if that's the case for everyone else, but just specifically for Sheva and Wesker, the Magnum ammo drop rate is so bad. If that's the case for you, please let me know in the comments. I don't know if I'm just unlucky or if it's a skill issue or something, but yeah. Business Sheva goes at 15. She just doesn't have good firepower. Like, she's fun. She has decent weapons, but she needs like one more like medium strength weapon that has sort of okay aim.
I told Mama we'd see elephants, tigers, panthers. She thought I was...
In 14th place, we have Safari Chris, because he's just default Chris with 2 rocket launchers, which, while funny, is not that helpful because they don't help your score that much because they're rocket launchers. They just delete them. You can't combo off of a rocket launcher attack. This isn't Resident Evil 6, and he has a better shotgun than BSAA Chris and a worse handgun, but the better shotgun balances it out, and the dual RPGs is so funny that he gets higher. That's it. In 13th place, we have Club and Sheva. I just told my brother that this character was OP, but then I looked at it again and she's actually not OP. I was actually stupid. The Jailbreaker is okay for crowd control, but she also has an assault rifle, which does the same exact thing. And she has the slow bolt action, which is good, but you're not going to be setting up too many combos with it. You're not going to be setting up too many hits. It's either going to kill him, and it's not great for stunning because it's slow. And then she has two weapons that do the same thing. So she just has a redundant slot and no healing items, no grenades or anything like that, which kind of sucks. She should actually probably be a little lower, but I'm already recording the video, so I'm not going to change it.
Choose when it happens.
In 12th place, we have BSAA Sheva. She is basically an amalgamation of Battlesuit Jill and Club and Sheva, but better because she has the Dragunov, which is my favorite sniper. She has a good machine gun, and she has my favorite pistol. So, I mean, she's got it all, but she doesn't have like the best stuff. You know, she doesn't have the best machine gun. I guess that's the only best thing she doesn't have. She also doesn't come with grenades. And then I'm just not a big fan of Sheva's kill moves because they take a long time and they're not super cool. And I've seen most of them in the main game a million freaking times, so I'm not super excited to be landing any like special epic moves with Sheva like I would say with like Barry Burton. So yeah, BSAA Sheva gets number 12 basically because she's kind of just very like generic character, but she just has better weapons, if that makes sense.
That's bait.
In 11th place, we have Heavy Metal Chris. I don't know how I feel about Heavy Metal Chris. I moved him around on this list quite a lot because he has the stupidest, dookiest, but also most hilarious and oddly effective kit in Mercenaries. Like, you could post up in the mine section where you camp, just hold out the stun rod, you're good. You can win like that. It's relatively easy. Is it fun? God no. But it's a little funny, at least for the first third of the map. He also has this minigun, which I have a love-hate relationship with because it's fun to use, but the bullet velocity is so shit and it takes up so much of your screen that it irritates me to use. There's nothing that irritates me more in a game than my screen being like super cluttered by just giant characters or like giant guns and stuff like that. And so the big giant minigun backpack it just bothers me. That's it. Heavy Metal Chris would probably be in like 7 or 8 if he didn't have the giant fucking backpack.
Butter.
That's it. Say again.
Butter.
Cracking the top 10, we have the main man himself, Chris's blood-tasting ass, Barry Burton. He has his unique handgun, which is a reliable 2-shot kill, but also is great for setting up combos because it pretty much always stuns. He has a solid magnum for good heavy guy damage, and he has the best sniper in the game. His only downside is he doesn't come with healing items, but he comes with pretty good weapons, so that's kind of offset by that, but also he still doesn't come with healing items, so I can't put him much higher. They also had a missed opportunity to give Barry Burton, the guy whose whole personality is that he has a magnum, they didn't give him the biggest magnum. They gave him the smallest magnum. Why? Capcom, what are you doing?
Squimberry juice.
I was so hungry. I didn't mean
Open his head!
In 9th place, we have Fairy Tale Sheva. They gave Fairy Tale Sheva the giant Barry Burton magnum. Why? Just swap them. Just swap the magnums. I already talked about Barry. Time to talk about Sheva. She has the OK shotgun, and she has the best assault rifle, and she also comes with golden eggs, which is kind of OP, and it's really fun. I really like playing as Sheva, but I can't rank her higher because I feel naked in this game if I don't have a pistol. Like, it just feels like some of my bones are missing or something like that. Like I'm walking around without like my femurs, you know? So, yeah, Sheva goes at number 9 because she's effective, but much like the opening to Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, it's fun, but I feel like I don't have legs, so she goes here.
Can we just relax and turn on the radio? Would you like ham or food?
In 8th place, we have Mr. Mosby from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. He just has a solid kit. He's my favorite pistol. He has my favorite shotgun, an RPG, and grenades. That's solid. He also has the best fucking melee moves in the entire game because he basically just has all of Leon's. He's really good. If I was ranking these objectively, he'd probably be in like top 3 or 4. He's really good, but I think some of the other characters are more fun to play. Up in here, this like top 8 or so, it gets really close, and I'm gonna be repeating myself a little bit because all of these characters are really fun to play as. But yeah, Josh is just really fun because he has a unique moveset and he has a good loadout. Not like the most unique loadout in the world, but it's pretty dang solid if you ask me.
I've been in the hills fucking dude.
I've been in the hills, fucking dude. I've been in the hills.
In 7th place, we have Midnight Wesker with his kit basically staying the same as much as it could stay the same from Resident Evil 4. And I mean, it was good there. It's good here. And he has his extra cool running moves that, if you don't know, you can chain a few times. It took me an embarrassing amount of years to figure out that you could do that. And I'm not going to tell you how. You have to go figure that out like I did. Good luck. He also gets the big Barry Burton Magnum that Barry Burton did not get. Yes, I'm still mad about this. And he gets one of my favorite pistols. I'd say it's like my second favorite pistol. The only downside is that he doesn't come with healing items, and his ability sucks up his health, which kind of sucks. And you have to be playing good to be good as Midnight Wesker. So naturally, I stuck with him. And but he's still fun. He's still cool to play as. I do kind of wish he had his coat though. I feel like it would make his like running animations look a little cooler, because he looks a little silly running around in just his like skin tight outfit. Yeah, Midnight Wesker goes to number 7. He's fun, he's solid, and I'm also solid. In 6th place, we have Stars Chris. And honestly, I'm the only grenade launcher fan, so naturally any character with a grenade launcher is going towards the top, and he has a grenade launcher, so here he is. He doesn't have a pistol, so again, I feel like I'm trying to walk without legs, but it's, I have a grenade launcher, so that's okay. That's fine. I don't need legs. I have a grenade launcher. That's it. He also comes with the best assault rifle again, and he comes with the dinky small magnum instead of the epic large shiny magnum, which is fine. Yeah, he just has a solid kit. I wish he came with either a healing item or a handgun. Both would make him a little OP, but who cares?
The fucking place! I fucking hate it! It's full of dickheads! I fucking hate it!
In 5th place, we have Rebecca Chambers with the most weirdly good loadout in the game, because all of her melee moves are really freaking good, and she has 2 solid crowd control weapons. I know I docked another character for having 2 crowd control weapons, but Rebecca doubles down on it with the crowd control because that's what her melee moves do as well. So you can really get in there and just like destroy all of these freaking Magini, whereas with the other character I mentioned, you can't. So that's the difference here. I'm not a hypocrite, and I'm not that stupid. Okay, I know somewhat what I'm talking about. And she also comes with 2 healing items and a ton of ammo. So you're basically set for life with Rebecca, honestly. And that's why she goes at number 5. Again, I feel naked without a handgun. I am going to say that every time a character doesn't have a handgun, because that is how integral handguns feel to just the Resident Evil game flow. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Rebecca goes at number 5. In 4th place, we have Stars Wesker. I'm like 99% sure he's the best character in the game, but I just think the other 3 characters above him are more fun. I mean, he has a really solid pistol, he has my favorite Magnum, and he has the best shotgun in the game, the most OP shotgun in pretty much any Resident Evil game. So, and then he has his extra attack moves. So he's just incredible. He's really good, and that makes him really fun to play as because, you know, fun. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about him. He's fun, he's cool, and that's it. That's pretty much it.
But I'm ready to give you everything you want.
In 3rd place, we have Excella, who has the epic 3-burst handgun, a machine gun that you're not really going to use, to be honest, because she has the 3-burst handgun, and a grenade launcher. She also has some hilarious kill moves, and if you say that you want any of these kill moves performed on you in the comments, I'm banning you from my comment section. Yeah, she's just a ton of fun to play as. Any character with a grenade launcher is fun to play as, and she has a handgun. That's the dream loadout right there. If I have a handgun, a grenade launcher, I'm honestly set for life. Yes, I prefer Claire in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Didn't know it was that obvious, but if you're gonna profile me, go ahead, I guess.
You got the decision. Man, I won, but I didn't beat him!
In 2nd place, not quite 1st place, definitely not 3rd place, we have Warrior Chris. Not only, much like Excella, does he have his boobies out, he also has the best shotgun in the entire game. He has a semi-auto sniper and a solid handgun. So, I mean, how could he not be a number 2? He's just fun to play as. He has a great shotgun, and you get the Chris experience without the horrible loadout of all of the other Chris's. He's just the most superior Chris in Mercenaries, and that is saying a lot because there is a lot of Chris's in Mercenaries. So yeah, Warrior Chris takes a solid number 2, and completely unrelated, he ranks number 2 on the list. In 1st place, by a wide margin, you have Tribal Sheva, because not only does she come with a grenade launcher, she comes with extra flash grenades, so she can flash you at any time, not like that, and she has a bow and arrow. Bow and arrow is so fun to use. If you're on PC, It's even easier to use because you have the aimbot reticle, you lucky pieces of shit. And like I said, she has a grenade launcher and it's loaded with nitrogen rounds. If you didn't know, nitrogen rounds are OP because they freeze almost any enemy and you can combo them into oblivion. What is the main point of Mercenaries? Comboing people. Wow. It's perfect. And she also comes with incendiary grenades and first aid spray. You're set. You're set for life. The fact that her melee moves are just kind of mid don't even matter because you can just freeze people and it will insta kill them anyway. You could poke them with a pencil and they would still die. So I mean, I think Sheva takes the #1 spot from starting with nitrogen rounds alone. Hits the top spot. She also has flash grenades, also has the epic bow and arrow that is insanely fun to use. So she's just a ton of fun to use, and I've said ton of fun to use too many times in the first place spot, which I think means that I'm done talking about this.
Here comes the A-train, it's the fleet feet. Saving lives, no surprise, like it's easy. There ain't no day like a...
How's it going, my evil residents? Today we're going to take a look at all of the melee moves in Resident Evil 5, and we are going to rank them worst to best on a character-by-character basis, meaning I will rank all of Chris's melee moves with Chris, all of Wesker's with Wesker, etc. So basically, this will be a top 8 list, going character by character. I will be ranking these objectively, not subjectively, based on how cool they are, because while these do have built-in stats, it wouldn't make for a very interesting list if I was just reading you numbers that you can go look up yourself. I will be doing a separate ranking of all of the combo moves because it does rank very differently from these. We will do that in the honorable mention before I list the first one. We'll just go through all the combo moves really fast. With all of that said, let's take a look at the video and see who has the most stylish melee moves in Resident Evil 5. I just want to say right off the bat here, all of the melee moves in this game are pretty cool. There's only like 2 or 3 that I think are actually lame. That said, Rebecca does end up at the bottom because her melee moves are so simple. Yes, I know they suit her character because she's not like a big fighter. She's not like a super karate master like all of the other Resident Evil characters, even Excella for some reason. 2 of her moves are almost the same. The flame spray move and the tear gas move are almost the same. They just spray different colors of particles, which is fine. And then she has a regular kick move, and her most interesting move is her rump shaker move, which is hilarious, and it's honestly adorable. It's really funny. I like her melee moves. It's definitely not bad. She's just, you know, least good. She's the least good out of all of these, and it's kind of hard to rank really high on a list where most of the melee moves are really freaking cool. So yeah, Rebecca goes in 8th place. In 7th place, we have Sheva. The coolest thing about Sheva is honestly the way she uses her knives in her melee moves. Her kicks are cool and everything, but her impale move on the ground and her throat slit move are so badass, and they're really fun, and I think they would translate well into a Resident Evil 5 remake if they keep the mechanics from Resident Evil 4. And every time I do those moves now, I just think, oh, this would be so cool in like a remake. Obviously, they're still cool here, but I just think if she has those 2 cool moves and the rest of them are just like neat, that I don't think she deserves a super high spot. So yeah, Sheva lands at number 7. Still some really cool moves, but for the most part, just kind of normal, kind of by the numbers melee attacks. Right above Sheva, we have Chris. The reason I put Chris above Sheva is because all of his moves look like they hurt really fucking bad. Even Chris's hook move, which does very little damage, the sound design, the way it lands, the width of the biceps landing that blow, one hook from Chris Redfield would kill me. I am 100% sure of that, and that's why he lands in 6th place. I can't put him higher because none of his moves are like super creative or super neat, besides like the neck breaker move, which is awesome. He gets that from Hunk from Resident Evil 4. Yeah, he gets a kind of middle of the road spot because while all of his moves look like they hit like a boulder, they're not that creative. So while they work for Chris and they're really cool, I just feel bad ranking them higher with how creative a lot of the other melee moves get in this game. And in 5th place, right above Chris, we have Jill. Jill has a lot of really fancy moves. Some of them are a little bit weird. I would honestly rank her higher if 2 of her moves weren't literally the same, just mirrored. Her shoulder attack is the same in the front and the back, which is kind of lame if you ask me. And then her combo move is like the worst out of all of them, so it's eh. Jill's coolest moves are, I would say her high kick is really cool, and then she gets the head grab, and the double knee drop is hilarious. It looks like it hurts Jill more than it hurts the zombies, because if I landed on my knees like that, I would be screwed. I would not be doing any more walking that day. I would be done. So I don't know what Jill is on, but she's a badass and she pulls it off. I just don't think that she deserves a much higher spot because a couple of her moves are just kind of bland. They're kind of Mainly her 2 roundhouses are basically the same. Her sweep kick isn't that cool. So she just has the high kick, the head grab, and the double knee drop. Those are awesome moves, but that's like half of her moves that aren't that interesting. So she gets a very cozy number 5 spot.
You are still a child.
In 4th place, in the top half of the list, we have Excella. Excella's moves, I think, are, I would say, the second funniest. At least some of them are. She does just have a generic slap move and a generic kick move, and those are fine. But where you get into the funny ones is the backhand move is really funny, and then the main funny moves is her heel stomp is funny, and I feel like a certain subsection of my fan base wants this done to them. You know who you are. And then she gets her first aid move, which is honestly brutal. What is she injecting them with that kills them that fast? What is in that syringe? I'm a little bit scared. Like, that move is genuinely, like, kind of unnerving and evil. Like, it's the most evil melee move in the whole game. And then she has her Humiliate move, which falls into the same category as the Heel Stomp move. Certain subsection of my fanbase wants this done to them. You know who you are. Honestly, completely valid. She has a mix of some of the best and some of the most boring moves in the entire game, which I think is why she deserves a good middle of the road spot. She's got some of the best, some of the worst. That's middle of the road if I ever heard it. So she gets the number 4 spot. In 3rd place, we have Barry motherfucking Burton with his headbutt that makes zombies' heads explode. He gets the Barry sandwich and a knee attack. Both of those, not too interesting. The Burton boot looks like it would punch a hole through my chest and make me explode. That one looks like it hurts a lot. The gun bash move, absolutely brutal. But I can't not talk about his last melee move because holy fuck, it has aged like a fine milk. I genuinely don't know what to say about this. Barry is a cop. Don't know what to say. This is the kind of shit in this game where people will be like, Resident Evil 5 is racist. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then shit like this is in the game. And I'm like, okay, you got me. Oh my god. Anyway, no, I haven't explained very much of this. I've just been laughing. But Jesus Christ. This is the most poorly aged thing in the entirety of Resident Evil besides Claire shouting, cross-dressing freak. No, I think this is aged worse. This is most definitely aged worse. This is so bad, but oh my god. The worst part is the finishing move on its own is actually badass, but just the context of Barry being a fucking cop. Oh god. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna put it. I'm putting Barry in third. Because holy shit, I'm not elaborating anymore. I'm putting Barry in third. Jesus Christ. I'm not laughing because racism is funny. I'm laughing because the fact that there's a melee move in this fucking game that is this poorly aged is just so ridiculous. And the fact that it's so like perfectly poorly aged, and the fact that it's fucking named Miranda Rights. They couldn't just name it Execution. They couldn't just name it something more generic. They fucking named it Miranda Rights. Holy shit. If you don't know what Miranda Rights are, I guess I should explain this. Miranda Rights is the phrase that cops read to you when you get arrested in the United States. It's like, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney, blah, blah, blah. That whole phrase you've heard before on Law and Order. Those are Miranda Rights. And shooting someone in the head is not Miranda Rights. So, yeah, fuck it. Barry's going in third. I know I've talked about Barry for most of the video, but wow. And let's move on to Wesker. Holy shit. In second place, we have the one and only Wesker. The main reason I put Wesker at second is because he has a whole unique melee mechanic unique to him. He can do his dash move. You can cancel out of the dash move into special melee attacks. You can dash in multiple directions, and then in those multiple directions, still cancel into different melee moves. And then plus, his regular melee moves are just all badass. Like, what more do you want? I would say they do all kind of fall into a similar area of badassery, where it's just like very sharp, very painful looking martial arts attacks. I'm no expert on martial arts. If you want to tell me what kind of martial arts these are, feel free to tell me in the comments. I'm not sure. I'm just saying martial arts in general because I don't want to say it's karate or something like that. And then, you know, because I know people take different martial arts very seriously, and I don't want to, like, you know, piss someone off that is like a professional in Taekwondo, and I say, oh, this freaking Taekwondo move is very cool, and they're like, what the fuck? That's not Taekwondo. So, you know, I'm just saying martial arts to be vague because I'm not very sure what martial arts these moves actually are, but whatever martial art it is looks fucking badass. Please tell me which one it is. I think the one that really gets me is Wesker's Windfall, which is his ground kick attack. Holy fuck, that looks like it hurts. Oh my god. Every time I do that move, I feel the wind knocked out of me in real life. Like, holy shit. So yeah, Wesker just has some pretty badass moves, and he has a completely wholly unique melee mechanic. I think that alone puts him in second place. You could argue first place. If you want to argue first place, that's totally fine. But I think there's one other character that just oozes badassery with his melee moves. I can't not put him at number one. Okay, he's got to go number one.
Kendrick! Drop another diss track, and my life is yours!
The worst one of these is going to be Excella's because it's just Jill's but worse. It's the disco spin. She just kind of double kicks you and does a cool little spin. It's cool, but it's not like the best. Rebecca's comes in seventh. It is the stun gun. I'm gonna put stun in quotations because it literally makes the zombie's head explode. Last I checked, stun guns don't make zombies' heads explode. So I think Rebecca might need to rename her stun gun to Wonderwaff DG2. Sixth place, we have Barry's, which is the Hurricane. He just does like a spin and punches you like 4 times. This seems like something a 6th grader would do on a playground. So it gets 6th. Like, it's cool. Barry pulls it off because he's Barry, but it's I feel like they could have come up with something better for Barry. 5th place is going to be Jill. Her kicks are really cool. Both of the moves that she has, her flip kick and cartwheel kick, are very, very similar. So I kind of feel weird like ranking them much higher because both of her moves are pretty much the same issue that regular Jill has. A lot of her moves kind of look similar. 4th place, we have Sheva because of her Skull Crusher attack is fucking badass. Her spinning back kick isn't that great, which is why she doesn't go above 4th, but her Her Skull Crusher attack is insanely badass, and dear God, does it look like it hurts. In third place, we have Wesker. His Ghost Butterfly move, I can feel my soul leaving my body when he hits me like that. Like, you know that scene from Spider-Man No Way Home when Doctor Strange knocks Spider-Man's like soul out of his body? That's what I picture happening to me if Wesker were to Ghost Butterfly me. That is 100% what would happen. My physical form would die and be separated from my astral form. And then his Rhino Charge is cool because he rams his fist through your chest. It doesn't translate too well onto most of the zombies, but once you understand what the move actually is, it's really cool. Second place, we have Chris, because his Haymaker, dear God, Chris can move a boulder. Have you seen the Haymaker move? And then the move he does after the backhand move, the flex? Holy fuck, does he look badass doing these moves. These are easily his best moves by far. They need to make the Haymaker a regular move in Resident Evil 5 Remake because holy shit is it badass. First place is going to be the first place character. Spoiler alert. Josh fucking Stone choke slams zombies. He dynamite kicks zombies. You know that kick that Aaron Black has in Mortal Kombat 11 that looks really fucking stupid? He does that kick in this game, but he makes it look badass because he's Josh. That's right. Yeah, I said it. Josh Stone from Resident Evil 5 is more badass than Aaron Black from Mortal Kombat. Not taking it back, not ever taking that back. Here's the proof right here. This guy chokeslams zombies, okay? Let's just move on to the number one. You all know what the number one is from me talking about Josh right now. Let's just move on. In first place, we have Josh Stone, Mr. Mosby himself, with the hammer blow, with the backhand, with the iron tackle, the power kick, the suplex, hello, and the elbow drop. Every single one of his melee moves is fucking badass, okay? Every single melee move that he has is the most badass fucking melee move of all time. You cannot tell me that none of these moves are fucking badass. I will only accept disagreements with the backhand move. That is the only one. The rest of them look like he could suplex me and I would literally disintegrate. If he could elbow drop me, my head would literally turn into a watermelon that somebody put a fucking air pump into. Okay? I'm done. If any of these moves are done to me, I will instantly die. Okay? It will be like Homelander himself fucking destroyed me. That is how badass Josh's moves are. And honestly, these moves give him more character than anything in the main game. Like, in the main game, it says, oh yeah, Josh trains Sheva to be a badass. It's like, okay. Josh just snipes some people in the story mode and saves Jill, but he doesn't really do anything like super like crazy. And then you see his fucking melee moves, and it all makes sense. It all makes sense why Sheva is so badass. This guy is so badass. He's why Sheva's badass. He trained and raised Sheva. It all makes sense. These melee moves characterize him more than any of the actual writing does in the game, which is insane that the melee moves, one, can be so badass, two, can provide so much characterization, and three, again, are just so badass. Any of these instantly would kill someone. I 100% believe that. And they trusted Josh so much to give him Leon's suplex. That move belongs to Leon, and I'm not even mad that they copy pasted it and gave it to Josh, because he pulls it off with just as much swag as Leon does. He gets a million fucking aura for doing the suplex and not looking like he's just copying Leon. Okay, Josh gets number one. I will take no arguments, no questions. When I said I could reasonably see Wesker being number one, no. I take that back. Josh is number one, by far. Not even close. He's just a fucking badass.
Wesker!
How's it going, my evil residents? Today we're going to take a look at all of the mercenary stages in Resident Evil 5, and we're going to rank them from worst to best, mostly based on my personal opinion. This is going to be a very subjective list, therefore it is law. None of you can disagree. If you disagree, you are just wrong. that's how being subjective works, if you didn't know. Yeah, this is mostly going to be personal opinion. I will go into some of the design of the map, but it's mostly just how it feels to play on and stuff like that, which is kind of hard to tell objectively, especially since I'm not a game designer. I don't have game design experience or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just going to rank my favorites from least to most awesome and least to most epic and stuff like that. Feel free to leave your list in the comments and stay tuned to the end of the video for a channel update. But yeah, I won't waste any more time. Let's get right into the video. In last place, we have the mines. I really like this section in the story mode. It's really cool with all the archers up trying to shoot down at you while you're doing the light stuff after the dark tunnel part. And it's cool to see the tunnel part kind of rebuilt a little bit and like lit up, and you can do stuff in there. I do like the tunnel area, but that big open space out in the main part of the map, aka the other 2/3 of the map, I just don't think it's that interesting. It's kind of bland. It's just empty area, place in the middle of the stand, places around to walk with a tunnel. It's I don't think that's that interesting, and it's really easy to camp on, and I just don't think it's that fun. I don't know. It's not my favorite Mercenaries map. Sure, it can be challenging if you decide not to camp in the one little spot where the first aid spray spawns. But yeah, it's the least interesting one to play on by far. It's all brown, it's boring, and it has the bug guys, which I don't think are that fun to fight. So it goes to number 8.
To honor America, please rise for our national anthem.
Angel of darkness.
At number 7, we have Ancient Ruins. The main reason I like the Ancient Ruins is because fighting the Villager Magini I think they're a really fun faction to fight in this game. The way that you can't really do the ground takedowns on them, I think makes them quite a bit more challenging and not in like a bullshit way like the military guys. So I think that's fun. I really like the aesthetic of the ruins and just the big like sun rays and stuff like that. I like it in the main game. Just the underground ruins thing, just in any game pretty much. It just scratches my brain correctly. Okay, I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. I like a tomb. What can I say? I'm a big fan of some old stone buildings. That's just my jam. So it goes to number 7, mostly because I like the aesthetic and the enemies of it a lot, but the actual layout of the map I'm not super into. I like everything about the map except the actual map. So that's why it goes to number 7.
He is my neighbor, Nur Sultan Tuliakbay. He is paining my assholes.
In 6th place, we have the Village, not to be confused with the Village from Resident Evil 4. This is laid out almost completely differently. It does have a shack that you can stand on the 2nd floor of and constantly kick down the ladder to abuse, which is cool, except they do spawn enemies up there, but they're not that hard to deal with. It's not as good as the original Village. It clearly is trying to scratch that same vibe, but I don't think it quite nails it because the map is too big. For a good Village map, you want it to be small, you want it to be simple, you want it to be a good map to learn on. And they have another map in this game that fits that role to a T. It fits it perfectly. This one, they clearly try to capture some of that and some of that vibe with how great it is. Just the fact that it's a fucking village. And they didn't really succeed. Like, they should have doubled down on it being a different village. And they kind of do this half-seas of, oh, let's expand it. No, let's make sure it has the village vibe from RE4. But, oh no, it has to have the RE5 vibe. Pick a lane, Capcom. You can't do this half-seas stuff. When they add Mercenaries to RE5 Remake, if they do make an RE5 Remake and they have Mercenaries in it on launch, which please have Mercenaries in it on launch, this map needs a glow up, more so than most of the other maps, I think. The other ones, I think, would be fine if you just like ported over RE4 mechanics. This one, I think, would feel a little redundant. So yeah, that's why it goes number 6. It's not bad, it's just kind of redundant and eh.
The missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it...
In 5th place, we have the missile area. The reason this one's at number 5 is because it's so fucking big. It's cool, it has a fun layout, it's just a big fucking map. It's huge. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest map on the entire Mercenaries suite of maps. I'm pretty sure it is the largest one, and it suffers a little bit from that because if you're not in a good spot where the spawns are really like cranked up, or you're not playing with multiple people, or you're not playing no mercy. So basically, if you're playing regular mercenaries, some of the spawns can be a little slow, and you can drop your combo because of it. Maybe I just have a skill issue. It's probably true. If you've seen any of my gameplay, I do probably have a skill issue. But I just don't think this map can crack the top half of the list because of how large it is. I think it's more fun if you're playing it with a duo, because then each of you gets like your own half of the map or your own top and bottom level, and you're kind of good. But just the sheer width of this map, oh my goodness. It is fun if you're using a sniper character. I will give it that.
I come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pinched someone.
In 4th place, we have Public Assembly. This right here, this map is my go-to. When I boot up Mercenaries, if I just want to chill out, I don't want to stress. I just want to chill out, play some Mercenaries, throw on some freaking if I just want to chill out, relax, destroy some zombies with a crisp right hook while listening to pop music, this is the map I throw on. It's fun. It's always fun. This is the village of this game. When I brought up that the village map wasn't the RE4 village of this game, that's what this map is. It's simple, it's effective, it's compact, but it's got a lot of different lanes, it's fun to maneuver, easy to memorize, fun to still master despite the fact that it's easy to memorize. Overall, just a great time. Just a great chill time. And this is also the most balanced versus map. I know this is a Mercenaries ranking, so that doesn't fucking matter at all, but I just want to bring up, this is the most fun versus map. If you're gonna play versus, play it on this map. The other maps, it's not that good.
It don't go down.
Robert, it goes down.
No, it don't.
It do go down.
Oh!
In 3rd place, we have the ship deck, and you know why it gets such a high placement? 1, unique skybox during the day. I think that's fun. And 2, you're not fighting the fucking military Majini on it. I love the ship deck design in the base game. It's really fun to maneuver, all the crates and stuff. It's such a fun time. I just like that section. The only downside is you have to fight the military Majini, and I hate doing that. And this fixes that problem because it's regular Majini. So, I mean, that lands it at number 3. One of my favorite layouts for a level in the base game, ported into Mercenaries with the most fun faction to fight. Yes, I know they're the easiest faction, but they're the easiest to combo, which makes them the most fun to fight. Just because something's more difficult doesn't mean it's more fun, okay? That's how it is. So yeah, ship deck gets number 3. I know I didn't say that much about it, but it's not like cream of the crop best map, but there's nothing really bad about it either, so it goes at number 3, which is kind of middle of the road for this list. It's a short list, so it's hard to have really big categories. It's a good map. It gets top 3.
My boy Tommy, it's almost 6 now. Ain't that swell?
In 2nd place, we have the prison. A unique area? Yes. Unique skybox? I think so. It might be the volcano area skybox. I'm not totally sure about that. Feel free to correct me about that in the comments. It has a Super Salvador-esque reimagining of the executioner guy. All the cool lava, just the great design. Somehow this map makes brown, like shit brown, like the mines has. Somehow it makes that look good. It reuses the most of the assets from the section before you meet the Ouroboros guy in the 2nd chapter. It kind of uses those assets and makes a whole prison area out of it. I don't know why it's actually a prison. I don't think there's any actual prison cells on this map, or why it's in a volcano. Like, why does this exist in the Resident Evil universe? I mean, it's a cool map, okay? Don't get me wrong. I love this map. I placed it at number 2. This is the map you play on if you want to show off that you're good at Mercenaries, because the layout of it is really hard. It has tough enemies. Yes, I know it's regular Majini for the most part, but with how compact and like tight it is, and then the fact that there's like no cover on the outside, so you can get crossbowed really easily and stuff like that, it's just a really fun, challenging map. It's not like stupid hard to where it's like not fun to play on. It's fun, and it does scratch the same itch as Waterworld did in the original RE4, but it doesn't try to remake that same map. Does that make sense? I just think it does a really good job of accomplishing the same goal in a completely unique way, of where the other one was completely open, you had free reign to roam around, and it just threw a really fucking hard boss enemy at you. This one kind of throws a medium difficulty boss enemy at you, and instead challenges you with the layout of the map, which I think is really cool and really fun. So it goes to number 2. In first place, this is probably a really unpopular opinion, but I think Experimental Facility is really fun and really unique. There's not another Mercenaries map in any Mercenaries game that is built like this one at all, and I think it's really fun, and I think it was a really good like foreshadowing, so to speak, of raid mode, because the way this map is laid out, you start at either end of it, the top or the bottom, and to get all the times, you have to work your way up through the entire map or down all the way through the entire map. And the bottom half of the map has a different enemy spawns than the top half of the map. That's so cool. Why don't more Mercenaries maps do stuff like that? Like, imagine on the ship deck, if like in the front half of the ship it was the Magini, like the normal village Magini, but then when you got closer to the crates it was the military Magini. That would be so cool. That would be awesome. Or I feel like there's room for stuff like that in Mercenaries to like really innovate the game mode that they just don't do, and they did it here and they haven't done it since with like the closest they get is raid mode, but raid mode is still not the same thing. This is closer to like not even really a Resident Evil roguelike. I don't know how to explain what this map just scratches a very specific itch in my brain, and I really like it. And it's just, it feels really epic getting to the other side unscathed and getting all the times, and then just hunkering down with all the ammo you hoarded up from your journey to that other side of the map, and just blazing down a bunch of zombies or lickers, depending on where you are when you end up. It's just a really fun map, okay? It's really fun, and if you haven't played this map, or you haven't played this map in a while, go play it. It's really fun. It's also hard. So yeah, I just think this map is really fun, and I think it's really underrated. I never hear anyone talk about it. People talk about this game for the Mercenaries. They talk about public assembly, village, mines, and prison. Don't know why. Talk about Experimental Facility, because it literally is experimental and it's really fun, and I think more people should play it.
How's it going, my evil residents? Today we are going to be ranking all of the weapons in Resident Evil 5. Because I feel like it, because I've played this game way too much. Now, the criteria for this list is not just going to be flat damage. Now, as useful as flat damage proves to be in this list, as you will see later, there are other factors that go into it, like its usefulness in a first playthrough, like how soon you get the weapon, if it's effective when you get it, how good it is for a non-infinite ammo playthrough versus an infinite ammo playthrough. I'm going to mainly be basing these based on how it performs on veteran difficulty and in Mercenaries, but I will throw in how useful it is in Professional, because Professional is also cool, even though it's not that fun in this game. Unless you have the Infinite RPG, which is maybe a spoiler for the list, but I won't waste any more of your time, so let's get into the ranking of all 30 of these weapons. Dear God.
Stop saying you're the guy. We all know that you're not the guy.
In last place, dead last, the worst weapon in this game. Oh gosh, it's the Ithaca M37, the first shotgun that you get, because much like Resident Evil 4, the first shotgun that you get is immediately outclassed and pointless once you get the second shotgun, which in that game is the riot gun. In this game, it's the M3, and the M3 is much higher on this list. The Ithaca is basically that gun, but worse in every way. I think the only thing it has above it is it holds more shells, but reloading speed is not going to be a huge factor in this whole list because of the technique where you can just reload in the inventory by combining the ammo and the gun. So even then, it's not that important. The only time I'd recommend this is on literally your very first playthrough on a low difficulty, because that is the only time it's going to one-hit anything. The M3 is just much better. It does more damage. It has more spread. It's just better. It's a better gun. It is immediately outclassed, and this gun is just, I hate to say it, but it's just worthless. Number 29, we have the Stun Rod. Now, while this weapon is fun, and you can stun lock a lot of enemies with it, which is really funny to do, it is very impractical for fighting a lot of the different enemies in this game. Some enemies you can't even fight with this thing, like the little flying bat things that I forget the name of. The only thing I'd really recommend this for is if you know the spawns of the map, or you're in a corner and you're not playing on the boat area of the game or the tribe area of the game, because they have ranged attacks. If you're just playing against normal Magini, Stun Rod's fine. Stun Rod is good. But the problem is you get it so late in the game, you get it around the time that you start fighting ranged enemies. There's literally no point to having this, besides a meme or to troll your friend by zapping them, which is really funny to do. Yeah, I'm convinced that they just put this weapon in this game as a meme.
Friendly death machine spinning up.
The Gatling gun, now, while this weapon does do a lot of damage, the massive amount of spread, how slow you feel, how much of your screen the backpack takes up, and the fact that you can't use one of the top 5 weapons in the entire game with it because it has a special aiming animation and it makes the backpack of this weapon block your whole screen. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to say which weapon. You probably already know if you're watching this video. But oh my gosh, it's just so disappointing, and it takes forever to get, and you have to upgrade the worst SMG in the game to get it. So there's just it's so disappointing, especially compared to Sheva's weapon. Oh man, it makes me sad. The only time I'd really recommend this is if you're fighting like a stationary boss or you're doing like a holdout section. That's about it. If you need to do a lot of moving and you need to see what you're doing, don't bring this thing. But if you want to have silly fun times on amateur mode or on veteran on an easy mission, yeah, give it a try. Why not?
It's a machine gun. Machine gun.
At number 27, we have the VZ61, which is the SMG that you get right at the end of the first level when you're doing the holdout section in the execution area. This weapon is the definition of tickling the enemies so hard that they get stun locked. It does so little damage, but it will stun all the enemies so that you can damage them with something that actually does damage. I would say it's not super useful until you upgrade the magazine at least all the way. I would also recommend upgrading the damage. This weapon works as a better keep away tool than the Ithaca does, while your partner or your AI hopefully kills the enemies, or it lets you land a cool epic punch or a stomp move. It serves basically the same purpose that the handguns do in this game, except it's less effective at killing zombies. And you're gonna burn through all your ammo, so I don't recommend it very much.
Really hard.
Coming in at 26 on the list, we have the Incendiary Grenade. The Incendiary Grenades are very fun to use, but they're not that good because they don't really do that much damage. And the stun that they do, there's other things on this list that do much better stun, that give you much more advantage, and don't damage you. So it doesn't really fill a niche. It's the thing that's better than it is more common than this. So it goes pretty low on the list just because it gets outclassed by a lot of stuff.
It's nerf for nothing.
Next is the HNKP8. This is the equivalent of the Resident Evil 4 Punisher. It's the pistol that lets you penetrate through enemies, but the problem with it is it doesn't do that much damage, and you probably already have another weapon that is good for crowd control, like you probably have an SMG or a shotgun. So you don't really need your pistol to be doing that. At the same time, if you don't want to run an SMG or a shotgun, this is the pistol you want to pick, because it's gonna keep back crowds because it penetrates through, I think, 4 zombies, something like that. It's pretty good at, especially if you're in like a tunnel, keeping a bunch of zombies at bay. The problem is it just has shit damage. It doesn't do that much damage at all. It doesn't have the lowest damage out of any of the handguns, but the other handgun that has low damage has a better utility than this one does, so it goes here.
I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shit.
At 24, we have the M92F, which is the handgun that you start with, that you get from the butcher guy. I rank this one pretty low because, and I know some people swear by this like they do with Leon's Silver Ghost in Resident Evil 4. It's almost the same weapon, except it has a giant 100 round magazine when you upgrade it. It has a high crit chance, and it does okay damage. Now, if you're lucky and you get those crits, you're gonna have a good time. But I guarantee you, there will be a couple times when you are praying, pleading, screaming, crying, and throwing up, I need this critical, please game. You will not get it and you will die. I've had that happen with this weapon so many times, and yeah, it's extraordinary how much that sucks. and for that feeling alone is why it's so low. The crit chance on this gun is pretty reliable, and I would say it's more useful than the penetrating power of the HNK that we just talked about, but and then if you're on infinite ammo mode, just run one of the more high power handguns that you get. It doesn't really fill like a spot. It's just the handgun you get until you can buy the other two, or not the other two, but until you can buy the other handgun, basically.
On the third day, God created the Remington bolt-action rifle.
Next is the 23rd spot, where we have the S75. This is the first sniper you get in the game, and honestly, I feel like I ranked this one a little low, but I have to say, this weapon's so slow. I like to call the S75 the Diet Magnum, the Zero Sugar Magnum, the store brand Magnum, if you will, because it does like 2,000 damage, but it's so slow. This is going to be really good for taking out like bosses and stuff, or big enemies like mini bosses. This one will one tap to the body though. That is a big difference, and that is something I really like about this one. Yeah, I recommend grabbing it over the other starting like first wave of weapons that you get in the game in the first couple chapters, because of its really good utility as like a Diet Magnum, and there's nothing else to use your rifle ammo on until you get to the section right before you fight the flying bat creature thing that comes out of the truck. So yeah, while it has its uses, it's outclassed by every other Magnum and every other high damage weapon. It's just the first high damage weapon that you get, which is why it lands here. At number 22, we have the SIG P226. Now, this is my personal favorite handgun, but I acknowledge that another handgun on this game is much better by like a lot, but this is my favorite handgun. This is the most reliable 2-shot kill in the main game that you can get. Sometimes you'll get a crit with it, it's not a super high chance, but if you can reliably hit that zombie twice, it's going down. And so as long as you land your shots with this gun, you can honestly clear the game pretty easily. The only cons with it are it's a pistol, so it's a little bit annoying to aim because you can't like...
Chris? Stop it!
I'm going to put both of these in the 21 and the 20 spot. These are the Samurai Edges from Mercenaries mode.
Chris, you make me proud. But of course you are one of my men.
Barry's has the like penetration ability that the Punisher from RE4 and the H&K from this game has, and Wesker's just is the same. Does like a tiny bit more damage, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't make any difference in the amount of shots to kill. So, and it doesn't have any other ability, so it goes below Barry's.
Pizza was not hot and ready. Pulling an AK-47.
Next is the AK-74, and I didn't realize until I was making this list and I was testing all the weapons. Please leave a like for how long it took me to test all the weapons again in this game, because I had to test a bunch of weapons that I don't use and don't like very much. And in this case, I ended up liking this one a lot. I didn't realize how much damage it did. Oh my gosh. Like, look at the gameplay. He just instantly just like, he died. He's gone. So yeah, the reason this is so low is because the accuracy is piss poor. The only reason I was able to kill him so fast is because he was really close to me. And yeah, it's okay for keep away because of how low its accuracy is, but the assault rifles in this game are supposed to like fill the space of more longer distance, like mid-range combat, and this one is just not good at that. It's not, so that's why it goes here.
12 gauge that just racked an IRL slug.
At number 18, we have the Jailbreaker. Unfortunately, it does not allow you to do the Dipman glitch in this game, so it goes way lower. It actually does pretty okay damage. It does a little bit less damage than the M3, and it has a wide spread. The only reason I don't like it is because that damage is put over the wide spread. This is going to be the same situation as RE4, okay? Capcom really said, let's take RE4, but make it piss-colored when they made RE5. So, in RE4, comparing this and the Riot gun, it's going to be the same as comparing the M3 and this gun in this game. It's honestly whatever you prefer. I personally much prefer the straight-up narrow shot damage of the M3 over the widespread same amount of damage with the Jailbreaker.
Now, you see, the M4 is one of the most tactical weapons ever made.
At number 17, we have the SIG 556, which is the AK-74, but more accurate and does a little less damage. That little less damage does not make a huge difference. That more accuracy makes a big difference, which is why it goes above the other one. Honestly, you can interchange these for whatever you feel like you prefer. I'm going to say that for a lot of these guns on this list because a lot of them are just varying scale.
Of do you want damage or some type of utility? I honestly prefer for this gun the utility over that small difference of damage, but it's up to you.
I hate this game!
Now at 15 and 16 exactly in the middle,
Look at little Tim Tim sleeping so soundly. Wake up, Tim!
I put the frag grenade and the proximity mines. Proximity mines are worse than the frag grenades because while they do, I think, 1,500 damage and the frag grenades do 1,000 damage, they're annoying to put down, and you can kill your partner with them. So the frag grenades are better, even though they do less damage because they're less dangerous to use.
You're staying. This isn't a democracy anymore.
At number 14, we have our first Magnum. It's the first Magnum, the S&W M29. I put the S&W M29 here because it has the slow rate of fire, but it only does slightly more damage than the fast rate of fire Magnum, and that slow rate of fire isn't compensated by massive damage like the other mag that I'm going to talk about later. And while it has a high magazine, that doesn't really super matter with a Magnum because you're not going to be using a ton of ammo, and then the reload speed doesn't matter because of the reloading and inventory thing. So it's just outclassed by the other Magnums. I'm going to leave it right here. At 13, we have the H&K MP5. Now the reason I have this here is because it's the H&K P8 handgun, but it's actually good, and it is in a much more easy to waste ammo type. Basically, it's what the H&K P8 should have been, because it does what seems like to me more damage, and it pierces a lot of enemies, and because it's automatic, it has incredible crowd control. This weapon is just so good at everything except mini bosses, so I recommend if you're fighting like any kind of Magini, you can just and they're gone. I really like this weapon. I use this weapon all the time. While it doesn't do as much damage as the other two assault rifles, the SIG and the AK-74, I really recommend you bring this if you're going to use something like a rifle, because you just need this in the rifle. You don't need anything else. If you just have this and like a high power weapon, and then maybe a grenade launcher or something, you're totally golden. Next on the list is the S&W M500, which is the giant freaking super dentist white Magnum. And it's a big gun. Of course it's gonna go behind the list. It's a big gun that does big damage. The reason it's so low is because I feel like its DPS is lower than the L-Hawk because of how slow its rate of fire is. But if you're fighting like a mini boss, he's gonna be stun locked anyway. Or if you're fighting a regular boss, he's gonna be stun locked. So just use it for that. It's not super good at taking out every enemy type in the game, which is why it's not cracking the top 10 or anything. But it's really useful against all the big boys. All the big boys.
I know what kind of man you are.
Now, the other two snipers I have put at 11 and 10 interchangeably.
What'd you think I'd do to some guy that I don't even like?
I could not decide which of these two is better. I just could not. I tested both of them a lot. I've, over the years, been like, oh, I prefer this one. No, I prefer that one. No, I prefer this one. The H&K PSG-1 and the Dragunov SVD are both really good weapons. The only reason I have them barely cracking the top 10, depending on which one you think deserves to crack the top 10, is because by the nature of them being a sniper, you have to aim down the sight all the time and it takes forever. So if you're cornered, they're not going to help you. But in virtually any other scenario, they're going to be super helpful. They are incredible.
Flashbang through the door! Position 4! Hit the targets!
At number 9, we have the flash grenade. Now, the flash grenade is like a skip button. You give me flash grenades, I'm skipping as many enemies as I can. I'm destroying, pressing B on that door to get out of here. I'm calling Sheva. That's what the flash grenade is for. That's why I love the flash grenade, because there's some sections in this game I just don't want to do, okay? I love this game, but oh my god, this game just... They blind you for way less time, like a millisecond. They blind you for like half a second. And they blind the Magini for almost 10 seconds. They're so good. I think the only ones they don't blind are the shield enemies, but they still stun them to let you kill them. They are incredible. They also insta-kill any enemy with an exposed plaga and those little annoying little spider things and the annoying freaking flying guys. These things are incredible. That's why they're up here.
The only reason they're at number 9 is because they're not a gun.
He's not the guy. I am.
At number 8, we have the M3. This is the shotgun I always use. This is my go-to shotgun. I love this thing. It's got good damage. It's good against bosses. It's good against enemies. It's especially good against the Ouroboros guys, popping their like orange shoulder bulb things. It's good against everything. If the enemy's not far away, this will destroy them, okay? And even if they're far away, it still might stun them. So it's a really good weapon. I recommend using this one over almost any other shotgun. You will see. But yeah, the M3 goes at the number 8 spot.
Wait.
I knew you'd come.
At number 7, we have the last Mercenaries exclusive gun on the list. It's Jill's PX4. Now, this weapon is the M92F, but if it did crack, this thing is insane. 9 out of 10 of your headshots with this gun will be a critical and will insta-kill the enemy. And if it doesn't, it's a 2-shot kill. This thing is incredible, and it makes Jill one of the best characters in the Mercenaries, by far. Jill BSAA, by the way, not Jill with her funny suit.
There's nothing stronger than love except an M32 rotary grenade launcher.
Yeah! At number 6, we have the almighty, underrated, the grenade launcher. Now, the Resident Evil 7 grenade launcher is so middle of the road. Another reason I ranked that one so low that I didn't say in that video, because I shouldn't be slighting another video, because I shouldn't be slighting a game because it's not another game. Fuck that. I'm gonna do that for this video. The grenade launcher in this game is so slept on. I never see anyone use it. You can buy the ammo for this gun. You could just straight up just buy it. And you know what it has? Flash rounds. You know what flash rounds are? Flash grenades. You can just skip whatever you want with this gun. You have 12 skip buttons. And then if you give an extra slot, you have 24 skip buttons to just skip whatever you want. That's insane. And that's only one of the ammo types. It also has regular explosive rounds, which act like regular frag grenades, which are incredibly helpful. You know when you shoot down the transformer things on the poles, especially in like the early levels, especially in the first Chainsaw Majini battle, they like set it up for you to drop it on him. They have that as a round in the grenade launcher, and it does a lot of damage too. It's the electric round. They have the flame rounds. They also have the acid rounds, which are good against the Reapers, but they're so specific and they're bad against every other enemy type. Don't use those very much. The best rounds in this game, they're better than the flash rounds. They're more expensive, so you shouldn't use them quite as loosely as the flash rounds. But the nitrogen rounds, they freeze any enemy and make them a one-hit kill with literally anything. You can shoot a nitrogen shot right at your feet if you're cornered. Take out your knife, slash, all the enemies around you are gone. They're dead. You just killed like 5 enemies. That's incredible, and that's one nitrogen shot. It works on the armored guys too. So if you don't quite know where to shoot them, bring nitrogen rounds. You could buy them in the store. On your first playthrough, you don't get them till the last level, but every other playthrough after that, oh my gosh. The nitrogen and flash rounds alone put this at not quite top 5. This weapon does have some problems. It is clunky to use because if you want to use more than one ammo type, it fills up your inventory really fast. You can just carry it as like your flash grenade launcher if you want, and then the reason I put it a few spots above is because of just how good those other ammo types are. Unfortunately, they are expensive, but you can buy them, and treasure is not super hard to get in this game. So, yeah. I totally recommend using this weapon. If you have a good amount of your weapons upgraded, you have infinite ammo on pretty much whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about burning your cash, use this weapon. Or if you find rounds in the level, bring your grenade launcher to the next level, load them with those rounds. Have a good old time. This thing's amazing. I can't stress enough how good this thing is. Please give it a try. I feel like nobody uses it. Please, I beg of you. I swear I'm not sponsored by Grenade Launcher. The top 5 weapons in Resident Evil 5. Starting with number 5, the L-Hawk. I was going to put this on number 6, but the fact that Wesker had to have gone, silly little fruity little Wesker, had to have gone out of his way to take a Desert Eagle, say, hey Jill, you know what would be funny? What if we opened a sarcophagus, put this in there, and then closed it, and then we waited for Chris to show up, and then I acted like I was busy afterwards. Like, that's hilarious, Because there's no way a Desert Eagle's in an ancient temple for no reason. Wesker had to have put it there. That's just a game theory. Oh my god, that alone puts this in the top 5. It helps that the weapon's incredible. It fires really fast, it does good damage, like really good damage, it's a Magnum. It doesn't carry too many shots, but like I said, doesn't matter with the fast reloading. The main reason that this is super high is because if you're doing an infinite ammo run, don't bring a handgun. Bring this. This is your handgun. It destroys everything. It's literally, you shoot it, it's dead. Like, unless it's like a hefty mini boss or an actual boss, this will just melt it. And it's obtained in a very silly way, so it's in the top 5.
I volunteer as tribute!
At number 4, despite this being such a pain to get, it's just so good. Any mini boss you see, any normal enemy you see, as long as you learn how to use this weapon, they're gone. It's slightly weaker than the L-Hawk, but because it just comes with infinite ammo, and you don't have to spend as much technically to upgrade it, I think it's better, honestly. You'll get used to not having a laser sight after a while with the longbow, and it also gives you an excuse to play as Sheva, so.
You are either lying or you're stupid!
At number 3, we have the man himself, Megatron. We have the M93R. Now,
Megatron, you've got to transform!
Now, what can I say about this thing that hasn't already been said by every other person that has ranked weapons in this game? It's so good, but it eats through ammo. But by the time you get this, you have enough money to upgrade it for infinite ammo. Be honest with me, you're not using this. Any of you who have ranked this low because it eats ammo, you're not using this without infinite ammo on. I know you're not. Nobody does. Because by the time you get it, you have infinite ammo. You have the ability to get infinite ammo for it. Don't lie to me. Don't lie. I know. Okay? I know. Best handgun in the game by far. It makes any handgun, any SMG, any shotgun except for one that you get obsolete. It has no recoil. No recoil. This is an automatic weapon with no recoil. It's the only weapon in the game that is automatic and has like no recoil. The next best one is the H&K, the MP5.
We've been here before, boy. I don't need to explain.
Number 2 spot, the second best weapon in the game, is yet again, like Resident Evil 7, a shotgun. It's the Hydra. Obviously, the Hydra is incredible. It does so much damage. It's like if you took the widespread of the Jailbreaker with the damage of the M3, dunked it in gamer subs, and then just frickin' went to town. This thing is so good. You will melt through professional mode with only this gun. I firmly believe that you can beat professional mode, except for like a couple of faraway bosses, with only the Hydra. Not even infinite ammo, and you can beat the game with very minimal problems. That's how good the Hydra is. If it doesn't kill them, it will knock them down. Please use the Hydra if you haven't. I slept on the Hydra for a few years because I just thought the M93R looked so cool. Just use the Hydra. Fuck the Gatling gun blocking its sight though. That sucks. At number 1 in the whole game, you knew it was coming. It's the one, the only, the infinite ammo rocket launcher. Not only is it incredibly easy to get, because if you have an infinite ammo shotgun and you can play the game on amateur with flash grenades, you can get this weapon. It's so easy. You honestly don't even need that infinite ammo shotgun anyway. Like, beat the game in, I think it's 4 hours? Let me double check this. You have to beat the game in under 5 hours. That's so easy. Do you know how easy that is? I could do that in my sleep. What time do I have on this game on amateur? I've beaten this game in 3 hours and 45 minutes, okay? Now let me look up the speedrun record for this game. An hour and 42 minutes. And that's on new game, okay? It's just, you can do it, okay? You can do it. I did it without a guide, and I suck at these games, okay? You can do it. And it makes it the number 1 weapon in the game. It's honestly easier to get than any of the other infinite ammo weapons because you don't have to do all that upgrading, all that buying of the frickin' annoying ass noise in the menu that haunts my dreams from trying to upgrade every weapon. It's an infinite rocket launcher. What more is there to say? Well, that is every Resident Evil 5 weapon ranked. I'm not quite sure what video I want to do next. If I want to do RE2 Remake Weapons Ranked, or if I want to do Village or RE4 Remake. Have a good day, and stay evil, my residents.